How do you design one of the most advanced ERs in the country? At Parkview, we did it by focusing all our attention on you, the patient, by involving doctors and nurses in the design process, by creating quieter, more private spaces, and by leading the region in heart, stroke, and trauma care. This is not your typical emergency room. It's Parkview. In an emergency, isn't this where you'd rather be?
Parkview, your partner in health.
Welcome to high school football. It's week 1 of sectional play. We're live at New Haven High School, John Young Stadium. And it's the Wayne Generals and the New Haven Bulldogs. I am Brett Rump along with Corey Kitchen. We're going to come back and get you all set for New Haven and Wayne when we return. It's the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Indiana Physical Therapy is your choice in Northern Indiana. Just like filling a medication prescription from your doctor, you have the right to choose who provides your physical therapy. And IPT accepts all insurance coverage. Open 7 to 7 with 15 conveniently located clinics, 7 in Fort Wayne, plus Angola, Auburn, Bluffton, Columbia City, Huntington, Kendallville, New Haven, and Warsaw. Indiana Physical Therapy will get you back to work, play, and play. Celebrating 28 years in business, Indiana Physical Therapy is your choice for physical therapy. Call 260-209-2464 or visit indianapt.com.
Every great team has focus and talent. And at Parkview Sports Medicine, our focus is on you. Hi, I'm Tommy
On behalf of the Indianapolis
the
Colts,
new director
good luck
of
to all
Parkview
teams
Sports
in their
Medicine,
quest for an
your
IHSAA
one-stop
state
shop for all
championship.
things
The
sports.
Indianapolis Colts are a
Whether
proud
you're a weekend
to be a
warrior
presenting
or an
sponsor of the
aspiring pro,
IHSAA football
we're here to help you be a better athlete. From performance training and nutrition counseling to orthopedic surgery, athletic rehab, and more, Parkview Sports Medicine's got you covered. We bring together today's top experts in sports medicine to improve the performance and treatment of athletes like you. Our partners include Sport One Orthopedics, AWP Sports Training, and Parkview Athletic Rehab. They're all suited up and ready to serve you. Want to know more? Go to parkview.com/sportsmedicine to learn how we can help you be your best. Parkview Sports Medicine. Upgrade your game.
It's high school football presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
DC Hendricks back in the ESPN 1380 and 100.9 FM studios. Brett Rump with Corey Kitchen. Sectional football, Class 4A from New Haven High School as the Wayne Generals visit the New Haven Bulldogs. Wayne comes in 2-7 on the year. Of course, that's against all SAC competition, while the New Haven Bulldogs ran a perfect slate at 8-0. They played a couple of non-conference opponents that you could look at and say, well, maybe they didn't challenge themselves the first couple of weeks of the season with victories over Heritage and Lakeland, and then they ended up going a perfect 6-0 in their NE8 play. One team they did not play that was on their schedule was, of course, the DeKalb Barons, because New Haven was scheduled to be visiting DeKalb the night of the tragedy up in Auburn. So New Haven is built on quickness and athleticism, and they've been the quicker, more athletic team against everybody they've played, especially against NE8 schools. Tonight they'll be challenged, and they'll be looking almost in the mirror. Might be a difference in the level of talent, but you're going to have athletes on both sides of the football.
Yep, absolutely, Brett. In talking to Coach Rowland, he said that, in fact, the same thing that you just mentioned, and that is that they really believe that for the first time all year, they're going to face a team that may be as gifted athletically as they are, and he's really looking forward to see how they respond to that challenge.
New Haven is basically led by the Keyshawn-Nishon combination. At quarterback, you've got Keyshawn Moore, and at running back, Nishon Jones, and you got to keep those first names, last names straight, but Keyshawn Moore, the quarterback, has become New Haven's all-time leading passer. He's really a dual threat. He can take off and run with it, but he also can air it out. He's been accurate all year long and a real key to the New Haven offense.
No question about that as well. Moore can sling it. He has a great ability to be accurate. particularly from the pocket. Seen him throw on the run a little bit. I don't think he wants to run. You mentioned dual threat. I don't think he wants to run first choice. I think he'd rather throw it, but he's been an exceptional leader for them, not just this year, but the last 3 years.
When they do run it, Nishan Jones has been pretty spectacular at running back.
No doubt about it. He's probably the best, certainly the best running back I've seen in person this year, if not the last few years. I mean, this young man is averaging over 10 yards a carry. He is the real deal in Northeast Indiana.
The Wayne Generals wearing all white with the white pants, white jerseys. They've got a very light blue, pale number, a small one on the front, large one on the back, and a red helmet. Meanwhile, the New Haven Bulldogs in their home gold pants, purple jerseys with gold numbers, gold helmets. And the New Haven Bulldogs make their appearance here at John Young Field. And, you know, New Haven, I think the key to any team that wants to advance in the postseason is what they can do with line play, both the defensive front and the offensive line, and that's something I'm real interested in seeing tonight.
I would agree with that as well, and I'm most interested from the standpoint of New Haven in the fact that I look down their depth chart, and they're starting 22 players. They've got one young man that's playing on both sides of the football, so that's some tremendous depth at the 4A level. Even at Bishop Dwenger last year, we had a handful of kids that would play both ways. So, this is a deep team. This is an athletic team, and this team has a lot of that it factor to it.
Captains are coming out to the middle of the field for the coin toss. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll get this one underway. It is IHSAA State Tournament Football Sectional First Round presented by the Indianapolis Colts. It's the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Pizza Hut, before or after the game. Try the delicious grilled cheese stuffed crust pizza for just $12.99. Or order any medium pizza with your choice of toppings for just $6.99 when you order two. Pizza Hut combines the classic taste of grilled cheese with America's favorite pizza. And right now, it's just $12.99 with a topping of your choice. Or order your choice of any two medium pizzas for just $6.99 each. Pizza Hut is a proud supporter of high school sports on ESPN 1380 and 100.9 FM.
We're back to the field, presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Welcome back to high school football presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union. Brett Rump with Corey Kitchen here at John Young Stadium, New Haven High School. The Bulldogs, after a perfect regular season, try to see how far they can advance that perfect record here in the postseason. They'll start it against the Wayne Generals, and it's going to be the New Haven Bulldogs kicking off to Wayne to start this one. The field here at New Haven, an east-west field, and New Haven will be kicking from the west end to the east. You've got New Haven or Wayne heading back to return the kick of the New Haven Bulldogs. Of course, we'll be following scores of games all over Northeast Indiana tonight. A number of interesting ones, including both of the Bishops being challenged on the road tonight. Bishop Lewis has traveled all the way to Kokomo to take on Northwestern in a Class 3A matchup, while the Bishop Dwenger Saints have traveled down to Marion to take on the Marion Giants. We'll follow all of the action tonight throughout the evening. Here's the kick. Deep kick, line drive at the goal line. It's taken and a touchback. That's that automatic rule in high school. If you break the plane, even if the ball stays out, you step back with that foot into the end zone, and it's an automatic touchback. So the New Haven Bulldogs will start, or the Wayne Generals will start 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
We talked about the depth that New Haven has on offense and defense, but what a weapon a great kicker is. To be able to kick it in the end zone and make the other team start from the 20 every time.
Quarterback for the Wayne Generals will be DeAndre Collins-Jones, 5'10", 185-pound senior quarterback. In the backfield, Devon Air Kelsaw, a 5'7", 175-pound running back, and they'll line up in the gun with a couple of backs split. Two receivers to the right, one receiver left. Man in motion, across the formation from the slot, right to left, low snap, bobbled, and there's the New Haven defense all over Collins Jones in the backfield, taking him down for about a 7-yard loss.
Diamond Towns of New Haven in on the stop, and he bobbled it for a split second, and that was all it took for the entire New Haven defensive front seven to be there to greet him.
Looked down at the low snap. By the time he got a handle on it and went to take off, New Haven swarming in the backfield. Not a good first play by the Wayne offensive line. They'll try again, second down, and almost 17 back between the 13 and 14-yard line. Same formation, run a man in motion. And here goes Collins Jones, I believe. If that's Collins Jones or Kelsaw that got that ball and took it to the left side out of bounds. No, not much there. He not even sure if he got back to the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be up a third down and long for Wayne.
Just ran the quarterback around the left end behind a bunch of blockers, but New Haven defense did a great job of stringing that out to the sideline.
DeAndre Collins Jones, the quarterback with the carry, and it was no gain, so it's third down, a long 16 from just inside their own 14-yard line. Wayne with the football, just underway here at New Haven. They'll fake the handoff, and again, it's going to be Collins Jones with a carry, and not much there. He crosses the 15 to the 16, picking up only a couple, and it's going to be a punting situation and a very quick 3 and out for the Wayne Generals.
Got the sense that maybe they were a little bit concerned about how deep they are in New Haven territory. Didn't want to take any chances through the air, so they ran a little quarterback draw off the jet sweep action, and now they're out to punt.
Interesting that we had gusty winds most of the afternoon. Right now, the flags are very calm. Here's the punt. High spiraling kick, going to bounce at about the 47 and roll into New Haven territory inside the 45, down at the 42-yard line. That'll be a 42-yard kick with no return, so a pretty good punt considering the situation for the Wayne Generals. Now the New Haven Bulldogs offense will take the field. And as we said, New Haven offense led by quarterback Keyshawn Moore, a 5'10", 180-pound senior, and Nishawn Jones is the running back, also a senior at 5'9", 172 pounds. They're the lone backs, trip receivers left. Ball's on the right hash, single receiver, lines up wide right. Shotgun snap, and the handoff. Up the middle, Jones breaks away from one, and then gets wrapped up, tackled out at the 49-yard line after picking up 7.
Looked like an inside trap play right up the middle to Jones, trying to get their running back off to a good start, and they're off quick and no huddle.
Again, looking at the defense, they got 2 wide each side. Handoff Jones, fighting his way through the middle of the field into Wayne territory inside the Generals 45 to the 43, where it'll be a first down. Again, another nice gain of about 8 yards for Nishawn Jones. They'll stay in the hurry-up offense. Quick snap. It'll be a screen, throwing it to the slot. Ball is caught, taken down in the open field at the 40 after a gain of 3. The pass was completed to James Gardner, 5'11", 173-pound wideout. He's a junior for the Bulldogs. The 3-yard pickup brings up second down and 7 from the Wayne 40. New Haven stays in this hurry-up style offense. From the left hash, they got 3 receivers right. Give to Jones. Following the left side of the line, he's inside the 35, down to the 34. 6 yards for Jones. Will bring up third down and short.
Same trap play they ran earlier. They must really like the scouting that they did in the middle of the defensive line of Wayne.
That time, a little bit of a half huddle for the New Haven Bulldogs, facing third down and 2. Ball just inside the Wayne 35. They'll send the blitz, and it'll be a throw out in the right flat, and it's incomplete out in front of the intended receiver. On the far side, looks like he was trying to get it to Donovan Trotter. But you mentioned in the pregame throwing on the move. That time he rolled to his right, and he led the receiver too far on a little out pattern on the right.
Yeah, normally that's a play he'll execute incomplete. I'm not kind of surprised he overthrew that, but here it brings up a big fourth down.
And they'll go for it at the 34-yard line. It's 4th down, 1.5 yards. They need close to the 32, and they got movement up front. No flag. Looked like Wayne might have jumped the neutral zone, but they'll let him reset, and now drop back in the pocket. Throwing it deep down the right sideline, and he overthrows his intended receiver. Incomplete. Interesting on 4th and 1.5 that instead of giving it to your running back, then you would certainly think that Nishon Jones could get you a couple of yards. They went for the home run ball.
Yeah, very interesting. I think the quarterback audibled to that home run ball. I think he had, he thought he had a man-to-man situation on the outside and was looking to try to take advantage of that, but he's got to think about the situation there.
I think he did have man-to-man coverage, but it was good coverage by the Wayne Generals. So Wayne will take over the football at their own 34-yard line, 1st and 10. 7:45 clock runs first quarter, still scoreless. New Haven Bulldogs, one of the state's top scoring teams offensively. There's the jet sweep, running to the left. Pollard up high, taken down. Looked like Ahmad Hill had the sweep for the Generals, running it wide to the left. High tackle, but an effective one. It will be no gain. Maybe a quarter yard. If you measure yards in quarters. At the 39.5, it's 2nd down and a long 9 as the clock will go under 7 minutes in our scoreless first quarter. Wayne with the football. Man in motion from the left slot, moving right, and they'll hand it to the running back up the middle. And that'll be Kelsaw with the carry, I believe. Very hard to see numbers. No, that's not Kelsaw.
Very difficult to see those numbers. Another inside run there for Wayne. I find this really interesting as to their initial game plan. They come out 3 runs in the first series, 2 runs so far in the second series, and Coach Moore had told us before the game that he felt like they needed to complete some passes to win this thing. So
3rd down, and we'll call it 7 from their own 37-yard line. Shotgun snap for Collins Jones. Run to the left, all the way to the sideline. Finally knocked out of bounds across the 40 to, well, I think they'll mark him out right at the 40-yard line. That's going to be 4.5 yards short of what they need for the first down. So on 4th down and 4, I think Wayne is going to go ahead and punt the football halfway through our first quarter. It's still scoreless between the New Haven Bulldogs and the Wayne Generals.
This New Haven defense probably doesn't get its due. They're giving up very few points this season.
The punt taken at the 25, 30, running to the left, trying to get outside the wall, the 40, 45, and finally dragged out of bounds right near midfield. That's a nice return by New Haven's Nishon Jones.
I'm somewhat surprised that they even kicked it to him. He's had 3 punt return touchdowns this season. Leads the entire area in total touchdowns. I'd have a tough time kicking to him if I was running special teams.
So the Bulldogs have it at the 50-yard line, 1st and 10. 6:02 on the clock. We're in the first quarter. Scoreless game. Moore in the gun. Nishon Jones to his right shoulder, and Jones gets the carry. Gets hit before he even gets back to the line of scrimmage, and then gang tackled and pushed back after a loss of a half yard. And that's good penetration that time by the Wayne defense, and it was led by Darius Alexander, who's a 6'6", 235-pound defensive end. He kind of looks a little bit like a guy named Austin Robertson.
He really does, especially in that number. John Allen and Amari Fields in on the tackle as well in the backfield.
2nd down and 11 for the Bulldogs from their own 49-yard line. Got movement, and there's the flag. And Nishon Jones jumped from the backfield and drew the hanky, so it's a 5-yard penalty marched off against the Bulldogs, and it's 2nd down and 16. And so far, a New Haven offense that is so used to putting up big points, still scoreless about 7 minutes into this one. You wonder if they'll get a little bit impatient if this Generals defense can hold up here. Three receivers to the right and a roll to the right. Looking to throw, and Moore does, and has his man at the Wayne 45-yard line. An immediate tackle made, 5 yards short of the first down, but that time it was right on target. A good strike thrown to Austin Myers, the wideout, a junior wideout, made the catch over toward the right sideline. 3rd down and 5.
Great 10-yard pickup. Gives them a short, a manageable down and distance and 3rd down.
Curious if they'll go for it again on 4th down if this 3rd down try isn't good. Drop and a throw left side, going up, making the catch at the 39.
Number 11, Harris.
It's Whitney Harris that makes the catch, and it's just enough for the first down, and that's just a big wide receiver almost playing basketball. Boxing out at the first down yard line and going up, making a nice catch.
It's a great throw from Moore as well. Threw it where his guy could get it, nobody else could. Just a little hitch route to pick up the first down.
Harris at 6'5" has the height advantage on the short corner. Look at the corner on that side. Hill only 5'6". There's a throw over the middle, and that's incomplete. Go deep over the middle on the first down play, and good coverage by the Wayne Generals to bring up 2nd down and 10 with the ball at the 39 of Wayne.
Yeah, they were looking there for James Gardner on a little dig route over the middle, and Moore overshot it.
You know, Ahmad Hill, the matchup on the corner, Hill only 5'4" against the 6'5" wideout. That's why they were able to just throw that ball up in the air and let him go get it. Jones following the left side of the line, met at the line of scrimmage. He powers for maybe a yard or two to about the 37-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd down and long for the Bulldogs. Clock runs. We've got 3:40 left here in the first quarter. It's still scoreless. New Haven and Wayne.
Sean Wiedemann on that tackle for Wayne. Wayne's doing a nice job in their defensive line of bottling up that run so far. They haven't been able to, New Haven has not been able to get Jones out and unhinged, so to speak.
Shotgun snap left hash, dropping, Moore looking, and throwing. And the catch at the 35-yard line. And again, they go to Harris, the tall wideout, working against the 5'4" Hill, and the completion will be enough for a first down at the 25.
Yeah, that's actually Craig Young on the catch. Excuse me, you're right, Harris on the catch. Did a nice job. They appear to me, New Haven, that they think they can get that yardage there in that matchup anytime that they want it.
First down and 10 from the Wayne 25. New Haven with the football. Trips to the right. Ball on the left hash. Here comes pressure. Moore escapes it. Up the middle. He's got a lot of space. 20, 15. Runs over a tackler at the 10 and down at the 8-yard line.
Wow, that's a dimension that I did not know he had. The ability to run over a defender like that. He normally likes to shy away from that contact, but not on that down. Woo.
Put the pads down low and ran right through the safety who came up and met him at the 10. Took him down at the 9-yard line where it's 1st and goal with 2.5 minutes left in our first quarter. New Haven trying to strike against the Generals. Scoreless game. Trip receivers to the right. The ball just inside the left hash. Keyshawn Moore calls out the play, and it'll be an option. Pitch. Keyshawn Jones turns the left corner, heads for the pylon, gets knocked out of bounds somewhere inside the 3-yard line near the 2. 2nd down and goal.
They went speed option to the short side of the field. He gave it up quickly to Jones and almost got there. Looks like he's at about the 2.
Keyshawn Moore comes all the way over to get the play call from the near sideline, and now he'll head out. Bulldogs will line up without a huddle. Trip receivers line up to the right. Late substitution coming in for the Wayne Generals, and New Haven snaps it. Lays it up, and Keyshawn Jones in for the touchdown from 2 yards out. And what a huge hole, and I think part of that was the late substitution by Wayne. They didn't get set. They didn't have a defensive tackle on that side of the line, and no one touched Nishan Jones going in from the 2.
There's no doubt about the fact that that late substitution was a huge deal there. It was their left defensive tackle, and that's exactly where Jones ran.
2:04 on the clock. New Haven is on the board. They lead it 6-0. Now they'll try to add the extra point, and the kick, a very high kick, and it splits the uprights. It is good. Short uprights here in New Haven. And the Bulldogs strike first with 1:56 on the clock here in the first quarter. 7-0 New Haven. A scoring drive presented by Best Deal Auto Sales. If you want to score on your next drive, be sure to get a car, truck, or SUV from any of the 5 Best Deal Auto Sales locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales. You're listening to the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
And or you can transfer your credits to a 4-year university and get a bachelor's degree from us.
Power improvement performance. The redesigned Silverado with the perfect blend of form and function and named most dependable midsize car. The Malibu Crumbag helps you get the most out of every gallon with the groundbreaking Cruise, delivering 42 miles per gallon. It's the compact car with premium comfort. And the versatile Equinox takes you where you want to go in style. This starting lineup from Crumbag Chevrolet, 930 East in New Haven, celebrating 45 years of helping the Fort Wayne area find new roads. Find us online at CrumbagChevy.com.
It's high school football, presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
With Corey Kitchen, I am Brett Rump at New Haven High School. The Bulldogs in front 7-0 over the Wayne Generals. 1:56 left in our first quarter. A 2-yard touchdown run by Nishan Jones. And now the kick for the Bulldogs. Again, a deep line drive, taking it to 2. And will they run a reverse? Yes. Go right and then hand it to a runner going left. And he's all the way to the far sideline at the 35, 40, and taken down at the 42. And I'm surprised that the Bulldogs over pursued on that, because really that reverse took a little time to develop.
Eric Kelsaw got the reverse handoff and did a nice job around the left end. Showed some speed, and the pursuit angles for New Haven maybe weren't there what we would expect, and maybe that's that Wayne speed that they haven't seen this season.
Just hard to gauge the angle when you're not used to that speed, and Wayne was able to get around the edge and get up the sideline. They'll start at their own 40-yard line. Generals 1st and 10, trailing the New Haven Bulldogs 7-0. We go under a minute and a half here in the first quarter. Long play call. Waiting for the snap in the gun. And it's a low snap, and there's whistles. And a timeout's called finally by Wayne. Just looked like there was a lot of confusion as to what the Generals were wanting to do. So with a timeout on the field, we'll take a break. You're listening to the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
From skilled tradesmen to project managers, technical engineers, and even company owners.
For 17 years, Northeast Indiana finds the best deals on quality previously owned vehicles at Best Deal Auto Sales. Reliable vehicles offered at or below wholesale prices. The selection is great, and the deals are even better at any of the Best Deal Auto Sales 5 Northeast Indiana locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales.
Take great pride in serving the youth of Indiana by furthering the
BestDealAutoSalesOnline.com. We're back to the field, presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Thank you for your
Back at New Haven High School, the Bulldogs lead it over the Wayne Generals 7-0 with 1:13 on the clock here in the first quarter. DC Hendricks back in the studios, our producer tonight. I'm joined by Corey Kitchen. I am Brett Rump, and they'll get everything reset after the timeout called by the Wayne Generals. A lot of confusion there. Sometimes you wonder if that's where youth shows.
Nice return.
Eventually, Wayne had to take the timeout. Now they'll start the drive. They'll fake the jet sweep. Quarterback keeper up the middle. And Collins Jones doesn't get much. He might have stretched for a yard to about the 41. Well, they won't even give him that. The 40.5. So about a half-yard gain. It's second down, long 9.
They're running the quarterback a lot right now. A lot of jet sweep fakes and quarterback up the middle. And so far have not been able to find much running room.
Down to the last 40 seconds of our first quarter. The clock continues to run. Shotgun for Collins Jones from just inside the left hash. Man in motion from the left slot. Crosses the formation. A low snap, and we might have had movement on Wayne. I think the wideout on the near side got a head start, and that's a 5-yard penalty against the Generals. Yep. They'll march it back, and it'll bring up second down. And about 14 and a half to go. The ball will be spotted at Wayne's own 35.5-yard line, and I think that's the last play. Well, no, they'll still have to run one more play. Wayne headed over to the sideline. They're all meeting with their coach, and now they will take a timeout. So 2 burn timeouts here in the last minute of the first quarter. An odd situation of why they want to take the timeout here, but Derek Moore talking to his team with just 23 seconds left. And now I'm not sure what's going on. The officials came into the New Haven huddle and sent everybody away, the coaches, the water boy, but yet Wayne is huddling with their team on the other side. And now the referee is going to come over and perhaps provide an explanation to this New Haven sideline.
Appears to be not only confusion in the Wayne huddle, but also amongst the officials right now.
And one official signaled to the New Haven side that it was an official's timeout, but the referee had clearly pointed to Wayne that they had taken a timeout. And now there's a discussion over here with Jim Rowland on the near sideline to try to sort through this. I'm not sure we'll get an explanation because the referees aren't mic'd, but with 23.4 seconds remaining in the first quarter, it's 7-0 New Haven. Wayne has the football. Second down, 14.5 at their own 35.5-yard line.
If I'm reading minds down there, it appears to me that maybe they ran some time off the clock on that last play that they shouldn't have when they had the illegal procedure penalty, and they want the time put back on the clock. Yeah.
So perhaps that's why the time was stopped. Wayne used it to huddle with their coach. New Haven tried it, didn't work so well. Here we go, last 25 seconds of the first quarter. Shotgun for Collins Jones. Man in motion, and they'll give the jet sweep. It's Ahmad Hill heading it to the left side. Here come flags everywhere. Just as he turned the edge at the 40-yard line and headed upfield, he got to the 48, but it's coming back. It's going to be a hold against the Wayne Generals, and you almost know the call before you even see the signal when you run a wide play like that and the flag comes right where he turns the corner. That's generally a hold on one of the outside receivers.
It was a good-looking play around that jet sweep around the left end, but probably there's a reason it looked so good.
Yeah, but that again, that speed of the speed and pursuit of the New Haven defense, it often challenges the blockers to try to hold blocks, and clearly that time they held the block. So the last 7 seconds, I think, will just tick off here at the end of the quarter. That'll be it. We've played one, and the New Haven Bulldogs on their home field lead it over the Wayne Generals 7-0. It's your Partners First Federal Credit Union high school football game of the week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Every great team has focus and talent. And at Parkview Sports Medicine, our focus is on you. Hi, I'm Tommy Schegler, the new director of Parkview Sports Medicine, your one-stop shop for all things sports. Whether you're a weekend warrior or an aspiring pro, we're here to help you be a better athlete. From performance training and nutrition counseling to orthopedic surgery, athletic rehab, and more, Parkview Sports Medicine's got you covered. We bring together today's top experts in sports medicine to improve the performance and treatment of athletes like you. Our partners include Sport One Orthopedics, AWP Sports Training, and Parkview Athletic Rehab. They're all suited up and ready to serve you. Want to know more? Go to parkview.com/sportsmedicine to learn how we can help you be your best. Parkview Sports Medicine. Upgrade your game.
Now back to high school football, presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Just about to start the second quarter here at New Haven. The Bulldogs leading at 7-0 over the Wayne Generals. Wayne with the football. It is second down and 19, and they'll try a screen. It's intercepted. Bulldogs at the 20. And the quarterback had to make a touchdown-saving tackle.
Roy Ayers, the only New Haven player that goes both ways, offense and defense, at linebacker there, did a great job of stepping in front of that screen pass.
Okay, Roy.
So Ayers sets up New Haven in the red zone after the mistake, throwing that short screen where Ayers jumped in front. And now they're at the 16-yard line. 1st and 10. Ball's near the right hash. Shotgun snap for Keyshawn Moore. He's got Nishan Jones on his left shoulder, and he gives it to him. A nice hole. The 10, down to the 5, taken down, where it'll be an 11-yard gain and a first down for the Bulldogs. And boy, did Nishan Jones just bust through an open hole just off tackle on the right side.
They run that outside zone so well. That was the play that gashed East Noble a few weeks ago, and Jones is great on that play.
Same formation, same play. They're going to try it again at the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, and there's a late flag. A flag thrown at the 4 after Jones had already gotten into the end zone, and the official is going to mark the flag at the 3, and when they pick it up and put it on the spot, you know it's a hold, and that's what it is. Bring the points off the board and march 10 yards off against the New Haven Bulldogs. Very late flag thrown by a referee from the backfield.
And talking to Coach Rowland before the game, this was a point of emphasis for him. They had far too many penalties last week, he mentioned, and he said the discipline and keeping that penalty count low was going to be a key to their postseason run.
11 and a half minutes on the clock in the second quarter. The clock's running at 7-0. Bulldogs looking to add to it, but a 10-yard penalty marches them back to the 12-yard line. Throwing a little fade into the end zone and man-to-man coverage. Good coverage, a little contact, but more incidental than interference-type contact, and it'll be incomplete.
I believe
Ahmad Hill, that small corner, and they're trying to pick on him. Just throwing the ball in the air, hoping the taller receivers can go up over the 5-4 Hill and get it. But Hill using his body position that time to take the receiver off his route.
You're exactly right. He did a great job of bumping him off that route.
It's second down and goal from the 13. Here's Jones bouncing it outside, but that time Wayne stretched the play and forced Jones out of bounds near the 7-yard line. Still picks up 6 yards. It's a quick, quiet 6-yard gain. Now, though, it's third down and goal from the 7.
That outside zone play again, they're making a living off of that. After going up the middle the first couple of drives, they softened them up, and now they're hitting the edge a little bit.
Be a huge momentum builder for Wayne if they can keep New Haven out of the end zone after it looked like Nishan Jones had scored. A drop back. They're looking for the slant on the left side, and it's incomplete. And it's going to be an interference penalty. Hill might have reached out and grabbed. Of course, Hill, that small corner that New Haven's picking on. And again, they went for the tall receiver, the 6'5 receiver on the outside slant. But I'm not sure it was a catchable ball.
Yeah, but
it sailed pretty high over his head, but it's still going to draw the flag.
Luckily in high school, there is no uncatchable rule.
Oh, is that what it?
So luckily for New Haven anyway.
Well, they call it a holding penalty against the Generals. He did reach out and kind of grab him off on the slant.
Yeah, I can't argue with that call. I don't think.
It's down at the 3. Third down and goal. 11:09 on the clock. They're in that formation, and they'll give it to him. Here comes Nishan Jones. He's through the hole, and he's into the end zone. Jones from 3 yards out, touchdown, and then a late flag in the end zone. And we might have either a taunt or an unsportsmanlike. Got some jawing going on between the players down there at the goal line, and the officials have to step in and break them up. I think the touchdown will stand because the flag came after the play. But Nishan Jones, his second touchdown of the game, this time from 3 yards after he had a 2-yard touchdown earlier.
And
And now the officials will discuss, and, this is a situation where you get into questions of disqualifications and things like that. You don't want to see things get out of hand.
Another outside zone for around the right end for the touchdown for New Haven there, and this is probably a penalty that'll be marked off on the kickoff, I'm assuming.
Okay. Yeah, they're going to set the extra point at the normal spot. Now, explain that outside zone. When you're saying it's the outside zone, I mean, it's a run that's somewhat off tackle, but what makes it the outside zone play?
No, it's a great question. Basically, your linemen are turning and running to the right, if you will, trying to block those linemen off to the right, and the running back can either take it out the right side or he can cut back across the grain.
Get in there. And extra point is up, and it is good.
And they run it really, really well.
And the key is to have a running back with great vision like Nishan Jones, who can not only see it, but make the decision of how to read it. Almost a read play by the running back. 11:02 on the clock. We're in the second quarter. New Haven's extended their lead to 14-0. Another scoring drive presented by Best Deal Auto Sales. If you want to score on your next drive, get a car, truck, or SUV from any of the 5 Best Deal Auto Sales locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales. Coming up at halftime, we'll get you updated on all scores with the McDonald's halftime scoreboard. DC Hendricks will let you know what's happening in round 1 of the IHSAA state tournament. Of course, we've gotten a couple of scores after the first quarter. Already, we know that Eastside's leading Cherubusco 7-0, and I believe Bishop Dwenger is up on Marion 7-0 after 1. Keep an eye on scores as they come in, and like we said, the McDonald's scoreboard comes up at the half from our studio with DC Hendricks. So they are going to march off the 15, and it's going to be marched off against New Haven. So the Bulldogs will have to kick this off from their own 25-yard line. So we'll give Wayne a chance at a return. We've seen a couple of Bulldogs kicks sail right to the goal line, but moving them back 15 yards, this one will stay in play, and it will give Wayne an opportunity to do something and see if they can bust a big play. They're down 14-0 to New Haven. Ready for the kickoff. Ball is in the air, and it's a high kick, and it's not as deep. Taken at the 21-yard line, up the middle of the field, the 35, and down at the 39-yard line. And again, that's Ahmad Hill with the return. So the Generals start at their 39, down 14-0 with 10:53 to play in the second.
New Haven doesn't have to cover a lot of kicks with that kicker defensively with their...
But he gets to kick it a lot.
He does. He has this year, that's for sure.
Of course, New Haven, I believe they are now the 3rd highest scoring team in the state.
Not only that, but they're the 3rd highest scoring point differential team as well. Their defense is top 7 in the state.
So with 10:53 left in our second quarter, 14-0, Wayne starts at their 39. And another low shotgun snap, ball 3 in the backfield, and it's still free. Finally, New Haven will jump on it at the 26-yard line.
Fumbles recovered by New Haven.
New Haven outside linebacker in there to scoop that thing up and puts them in great field position at the Wayne 25.
Second turnover by the Generals. Of course, the last one, the interception, which led to the score that put the Bulldogs up 14-0. Now another chance. New Haven starts this time at the Wayne 26-yard line with 10:46 on the clock. And when you've got to face a high-powered offense like this New Haven Bulldogs offense, last thing you want to do is basically hand them field position, and that's where they're starting right now at the Wayne 26-yard line. Center of the field. Keyshawn Moore calls out the play. He'll drop and look to throw. Look, throw it into the end zone, and touchdown!
Complete to number 14, Gardner. Touchdown,
Gardner. 26 yards, one play, and a flag again comes flying up late. And we're going to have a celebration penalty called against the New Haven Bulldogs.
The play itself, beautiful post route over the middle of the field by Gardner, and that's really the first time tonight that we have seen Jones use a little touch on the ball. He just laid that thing right out over the middle and let Gardner go get it.
Gardner the catch in the end zone, 26-yard play, 10:39 here in the second quarter, and it's now 20-0. And well, a game that started so promising for Wayne, and they're giving it away here over the last couple of minutes. Interception, a fumble, and New Haven takes advantage of both. Here's the extra point. It's up, and it's good. 21-0. Bulldogs leading it over the Wayne Generals. Another scoring drive, a quick one, presented by Best Deal Auto Sales. If you want to score on your next drive, get a car, truck, or SUV from any of the 5 Best Deal Auto Sales locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales. This is the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Indiana Physical Therapy is your choice in Northern Indiana. Are you suffering from chronic pain? Maybe you just had a knee replacement or an athletic injury or tweaked your back perfecting your golf swing. Choose IPT for your physical therapy. IPT is a cost-effective therapy provider who accepts all insurance plans and offers the highest credentialed and most reputable staff in the area. Same-day appointments available. Celebrating 28 years in business now with 15 area locations. Indiana Physical Therapy is your choice for physical therapy, getting you back to work, play, and life. Visit IndianaPT.com and start your therapy today.
Welcome to Friday Night Football, presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Couple of turnovers by the Wayne Generals lead to touchdowns for the New Haven Bulldogs. New Haven now in front 21-0, 10:37 left here in the second quarter at New Haven High School. Class 4A state tournament. Of course, Mr. Dwenger also in this sectional. They're down at Marion, leading the Giants 13-7 in the second quarter. Is that now?
That's correct.
I'm Brett Rump with Corey Kitchen tonight and DC Hendricks back in the ESPN 1380 and 100.9 FM studios. Now New Haven is all set to kick off. Again, they've marched the ball back to the 25. And we're ready. Here's the kick. High kick, and it'll be taken at the 21. Going left to right, crossing the field, now cutting it up at the hash marks, across the 35, and spinning out to the 38-yard line.
John Allen on the kick return there. Did a nice job running around the right side. Picked up some decent yardage. Pretty good field position for them.
Allen, a 5'7", 165-pound junior. Well, let's see if Wayne can take care of the football and their offense can do something against this New Haven Bulldogs defense. They got 10.5 minutes to work with before halftime. They're down 21-0. DeAndre Collins-Jones, the quarterback for the Wayne Generals. He's got a single back over his right shoulder. Man in motion from the right slot, going to the left. They'll fake the jet sweep and then hand to the running back. Net at the line of scrimmage. Didn't even get back, I don't think, to the line of scrimmage. Pulled backwards as he got to the 36.5. That'll be a loss of about a yard. And what a play by New Haven defensively.
We mentioned it in the beginning that, the Nishan and Keyshawn show on offense is what gets a lot of the publicity for New Haven. But their defense is the real deal. They've held most all of their opponents under 10 points a game, giving up 10 points only 3 times this season, in fact.
Second down, almost 12 to go. Quick pass on the right flat, and a good catch by the wideout, getting a big cushion from the corner. They throw the ball only about 6 yards downfield, and it'll go for about a 9-yard gain out to the 45-yard line, where it'll bring up 3rd down and 3.
I think that's more of the type of offensive play, that quick out that Coach Moore's trying to put together offensively with Wayne. He mentioned that they were going to have to throw some passes and complete some balls in order to be in this game.
Handoff, running back right up the middle. It's Kelsaw, I believe, spinning, and he might have actually been able to spin his way to the first down stick, and the official will give him the first down at the 48-yard line. I think actually when he spun and then rolled, he rolled over a defender, and he never went down to the ground, and so they gave him the 48, first down for Wayne.
Never touched the ground. You don't see that very often.
9.5 minutes, clock runs. We're in the second quarter, 21-0. New Haven with the lead. Wayne the football, first and 10 at their own 48. Play action and throwing deep right sideline, and a nice adjustment to the football, but he makes the catch out of bounds. Too wide, and boy, it's a really nice catch, but the ball thrown outside the field of play, and even though Hill made a nice adjustment, the catch won't count.
Fabulous catch over there on the sidelines. Tried to drag a foot and just was unsuccessful.
Second down and 10 now for Wayne. Just outside their own 48. Everything in the formation tight now. Two receivers each side. They'll go jet sweep. Kind of trouble on the handoff, but it's taken, and now they got open field. 35, 30, 25, sprint down the sideline, and finally taken out inside the 15. What a big play on a play that looked busted from the beginning. And it was intended to go wide, and instead they cut it right up the middle of the field, found a seam. One of the New Haven defenders slipped, and it was a huge play for the Wayne Generals.
Javier Johnson on the carry. Just a jet sweep that you're exactly right, Brady. Cut it up the middle instead of the typical bringing it around the outside, and found a lot of room up there.
I'm without space here, so I'm counting on you to call the players. I don't have my lineups like I usually do and can't do it. I've been trying and can't keep up. Here's a handoff, almost a crossbuck play, heading right, getting inside the 5 and spinning down close to the 2.
Good run by Devin Eric Kelsaw.
Kelsaw with the carry, and I think it's going to be a first and goal. Let's see where they put the football. Nope, they'll sit it at the 3. Yes, it is going to be first and goal. First and goal, I believe. They've dropped the chain, so it's got to be first and goal inside the 3-yard line. Shotgun snap. And it's a low snap. Now it's a busted play. Here comes the quarterback heading to the left, trying to get the corner, and he's going to be chased out of bounds back at the 9. And there's a flag right where the ball was snapped. Wayne's got to get that snap fixed. It's amazing. You just take for granted that shotgun snap, and it's a hold being called against Wayne. And I will see what Wayne will do with this, because it's, or what New Haven will do. It's back at the 9-yard line. And they'll march off 10 yards. They'll put it instead at the 13 and give Wayne an extra down.
Yeah, you never like that when you're at the 3-yard line and you get a holding call. It's first and goal from the 12 or 13 is no fun.
You know, it's always tough when you're down in this position, because the offense gets a penalty, it's full 10 yards. Defense gets a penalty, it's half the distance. Almost thinks there's something not fair about that sometimes.
No doubt.
8:15 left in the second quarter. Here's Wayne. First and goal from the 13. Rolling, throwing wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, Generals.
Touchdown, Wayne.
Nobody covered the Wayne receiver in the back corner of the end zone.
Fitting that's Javier Johnson, the same guy who had the big run on the jet sweep that he cut up the middle, came wide open in the right corner of the end zone to make that catch and put Wayne on the board.
DeAndre Collins-Jones, the touchdown pass. 8:07 remains here in the second quarter. 21-6. Wayne will try to tack on an extra point. Snap, the set, and the kick. A line drive right through the uprights. So a scoring drive presented by Best Deal Auto Sales. If you want to score on your next drive, get a car, truck, or SUV from any of the 5 Best Deal Auto Sales locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales. 21-7, New Haven with the lead over the Wayne Generals. 8:07 left second quarter, and this is the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Making it easy to get the best deal.
For 17 years, Northeast Indiana finds the best deals on quality previously owned vehicles at Best Deal Auto Sales. Reliable vehicles offered at or below wholesale prices. The selection is great and the deals are even better at any of the Best Deal Auto Sales 5 Northeast Indiana locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales.
Best Deal Auto Sales.
BestDealAutoSalesOnline.com.
It's high school football, presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
With Corey Kitchen, Brett Romp back at New Haven High School. John Young Stadium, 21-7. Generals get on the board. New Haven with the lead. And now the Generals will kick off to the Bulldogs, and a breakdown in defensive coverage. That time because Wayne rolled to the right, and they slipped a receiver into the back corner of the end zone, completely uncovered.
Yeah, a little play-action pass really had New Haven biting in their front seven, and their defensive backs must have came with them because there was nobody there on the coverage.
Surprise from South Side, where the Archers have jumped out to a 12-0 lead over the Leo Lions. Here's the kick, a high pop-up, not real deep, taken at the 16, the 20, 25, trying to read the blocks, 30, into the middle of the field, and taken down at the 34-yard line. It looked like Pope might have been the guy returning it.
Cheney Pope with the return. He takes it to the 34, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the New Haven Bulldogs, leading at 21-7 over the Wayne Generals. 7:59 left before we take our recess. At halftime, we've got the McDonald's scoreboard with D.C. Hendricks from the ESPN 1380 and 100.9 FM studios. Also, after the game, join us at the New Haven Pizza Hut for the Indiana Physical Therapy postgame show. I'll be joined by Austin Render with all your scores, highlights, and coaches' interviews right after the game. Bulldogs with the football, 1st and 10 at the 34. A high handoff to Deshaun Jones. And here comes Wayne, and the pursuit will take down Jones for a loss at the 32-yard line. Wow, great play defensively by Wayne. Looks like they got a little bounce in their step after that touchdown. Momentum may have turned just a little bit here.
Now that looked more like a sweep play, but you talked about that zone run. Was that similar to the zone run?
Yeah, I think that was what they were trying to do with that zone run, but Wayne made a nice adjustment in coming around the edge on that.
So it is 2nd down and almost 12, just outside their own 32-yard line. For the right hash, dropping in the pocket, looking to throw. Moore will roll to the left and then throw left flat, going down, making the catch. Looks like number 6, which is Donovan Trotter, making the catch after about a 6-yard gain out at the 39-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down, and we'll call it a long 5.
They're going no huddle again.
They need to get to the 44 for the first. From their own 39-yard line, left hash, a roll to the right, looking to throw. Moore looks, sets up, pump fakes, got a man in the air, now he takes off to the left. He's got some blocking and a late throw, and it's incomplete on the far sideline. He had a man, and it was Pope who got open on the reversal by Keyshawn Moore. And unfortunately, it would have been a much better decision. You talked about it in the pregame that Keyshawn Moore probably could have run the football for an easy 1st down, but instead he tried to pass it, and it was incomplete. The ball was dropped.
Yeah, he'd prefer to throw rather than run, and it kind of bit him there.
So it's 4th down, and New Haven has to send out their punting unit, so a good 3 and out for the Generals defense with 6:39 remaining in our 2nd quarter, and they're counting heads out there. The official threw the flag, counted how many linemen New Haven had on the field, and I think they counted 1 too many. Somebody's got to leave, and here comes one of the linemen. It's always bad when you're the guy that has to come off, because then you know, the whole crowd knows that you were the 12th guy. 6:39 left, 2nd quarter, 21-7. It's New Haven with the lead, but the Bulldogs to punt to the Generals. After the 5-yard march off, it's back at the 34, and here's the kick. Nice spiraling kick and taken on a knee, and they're going to let Hill go ahead and return it, but that won't be much of a difference because Hill's wrapped up and thrown backwards. But he went down to one knee to make that catch.
I did as well. Looks like they're going to mark his forward progress up near the 35, but yeah, nothing doing there.
Yeah, they will sit the football somewhere near the 35-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Generals with 6:24 left before halftime. New Haven jumped out to a 21-0 lead, scoring twice off of Wayne turnovers. First an interception, and the second one a fumble, but both of them gave New Haven a short field. They converted on both and got out to a 21-0 lead. Wayne scored last time they had the football. Now here comes the offense again. Give to the running back. Hits the hole hard, but doesn't get anything. Right back to the line of scrimmage. They'll give him just across the 35, so about the length of the football. 2nd down and 9.5 now for the Generals as the clock goes under 6 minutes here in the 2nd quarter.
Kind of the Wayne offensive version of that zone running play, and just not much there. I think New Haven probably feels a little bit upset about that last score and trying to make a stand here now defensively.
Shotgun. They'll give to the tailback. Here's Kelsaw inside the 40, or across the 40, all the way out to the 44. That's a nice run of about 9 yards. And a good job of picking spots and reading blocks and taking it for 9 yards right up the middle. 3rd down and 1.
Nice spin move as well. Ran through the middle of that New Haven defense and just kind of bounced around like a pinball in there.
Approaching 5 minutes left in the second. 21-7. Here's the 3rd down and 1. Handoff up the middle. 1st down yardage and across midfield to the 48-yard line. Nice burst right between the guards for the Generals. Move the chains. It's a 1st down, and Wayne's in New Haven territory.
It was a quick sort of dive running play right up the middle, and I think it kind of caught New Haven by surprise.
Kind of caught the Wayne tailback by surprise, too. He never moved. They gave it to the fullback, and the tailback was still standing in the backfield. Here's the handoff, coming left. Trying to bounce it outside. Kelsaw doesn't have much running room. He's wrapped up just as he gets inside the 45, but that was a play that Kelsaw tried to have great patience and tried to wait for the blocking to develop, but New Haven stretched it out. Does go for about 4.5 yards, so not a bad gain after all is said and done.
I've noticed some substitutions defensively for New Haven. Looks like they're getting some maybe some backups in the game. That might be contributing to a little bit of the running game here for Wayne, but they're doing a nice job of mounting another drive here.
4:10 and the clock runs, 2nd quarter. Generals have it 2nd down and about 6. And again, they'll give it to the fullback, and his feet go out from under him as he crosses the 45 to the 44. That's no gain, so it's going to bring up 3rd down and a long 6 for the Generals with 3:50 left here in the 2nd quarter, and the Generals trail the Bulldogs 21-7.
Javier Johnson on the run again, kind of the offensive star for Wayne thus far, but nothing doing on that play.
Two backs, shotgun, play action, throw over the middle, and they tried to throw it to the big tight end Darius Alexander, the 6'6", 235-pounder, but the throw a little too far in front of him, out of his reach, and complete. Now it's 4th down and 6. This is a big decision here for Derek Moore. He got 3:28 left in the half. It's 4th down and 6 at the New Haven 44. If you go for it, don't get it, got a chance that New Haven could take momentum and another score into the locker room.
Yeah, this is a difficult call. I think he's probably going to punt, but
he's taking a long time to think about it and finally takes his, well, we think it's his 3rd time out, might be his 2nd. So a timeout called with 3:28 remaining in the half. 21-7. New Haven leads it over the Wayne Generals. This is the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio, 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Indiana Physical Therapy is your choice in Northern Indiana. Just like filling a medication prescription from your doctor, you have the right to choose who provides your physical therapy. And IPT accepts all insurance coverage. Open 7 to 7 with 15 conveniently located clinics, 7 in Fort Wayne, plus Angola, Auburn, Bluffton, Columbia City, Huntington, Kendallville, New Haven, and Warsaw. Indiana Physical Therapy will get you back to work, play, and life. Celebrating 28 years in business, Indiana Physical Therapy is your choice for physical therapy. Call 260-209-2464 or visit indianapt.com.
Now back to high school football, presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
3 minutes, 28 seconds remaining in the second quarter, and New Haven with a 21-7 lead over the Wayne Generals. I'm Brett Rump along with Corey Kitchen, DC Hendricks, handling things back in our studios. He'll bring you the McDonald's halftime scoreboard coming up here in just a few. Wayne will set up to punt on 4th down and 6 from the 44. Here's the kick. Try to angle it toward the corner. New Haven doesn't have anybody back. It bounces at the 7, and it's down at the 3. Well, interesting, New Haven not putting anybody back, because that allowed Wayne an easy downing of the football inside the 5. So now New Haven has a long way to go with 3:21 remaining before halftime, but New Haven does lead at 21-7, and the Bulldogs will get the ball first in the second half.
I think that's a great decision by Coach Moore. Had a great punt out of Bailey's salary. If New Haven's going to score before the half, they're going to have to go 97 yards and 3:21, and they may do it. They're a good no-huddle team and capable of doing it, but I think that was the best move for his team.
It's a lot harder to go 97 than go 44, so probably the right decision. Shotgun, and it's going to put Moore 2 yards deep in his end zone. He'll give it to Jones, and Jones across the 5 out to the 7, trying to create a little bit of space for this New Haven offense.
Stop at number 13, Johnson.
With 3:10 and the clock running here in the second quarter.
We got an injured Wayne player down. Can't really make out the number, but...
defensive lineman, it appears. Clock stops then with 3:05 left before halftime. 21-7. The difference in the game, a couple of Wayne turnovers from deep in their own end. A fumble and an interception both led to New Haven scores. And that's essentially the difference. Clock is running under 3 minutes. Second down. Call it 5 from the 8.
Number 3, Jones with the ball.
Jones bounces it out to the left sideline, and he'll get all the way out across the 20-yard line before he's run out at about the 21.
Pushed out by number 13, Johnson.
Really nice run. Started up the middle, hit the left side, and showed the presence of mind to get out of bounds and stop that clock. Well done on his part.
Coming up at halftime, we'll recap our scoring from this one. Then we'll send it back to the studio. You'll get a chance to hear an interview with AWP Up Close with Peterson Curlegrand. Here's a slant and a receiver taken down. Again, that's Hill taking the receiver down on the slant pattern, but the throw way out front of the intended receiver, incomplete.
Yeah, they're trying to hit Kentrell Thomas on a slant route. I think Hill was all over him, but they didn't get any call there. So it's not pass interference if they don't call it.
Second down and 10 from the 21-yard line. The clock stops on the incomplete pass. 2:38 left in the second quarter. 21-7. Bulldogs lead with the football. Here's that speed option. They pitch it to Jones on the short side of the field. He's run out as he crosses the 35 or the 25 out to about the 27-yard line. Give Jones 6 on the play. It'll bring up third down, a short 4. Then the clock stops with Jones going out of bounds with 2:33 left before halftime. Big third down here. Got to expect Wayne would use the last time out if they can come up with a third down stop. Here's a roll out to the right. They're going to look to throw, dump it off, and it's caught at the 35. Big hit at the 36. but that's enough for a first down, and they'll stop the clock at 2:27.
Great catch by James Gardner on the run, and then also has the presence of mind to get out of bounds himself. I'm not sure if he was going there or whether the defender took him there, but nonetheless, he stopped the clock, and well done.
The wideout cleared. The receiver from the slot kind of went short and out, and then I think that the receiver eventually caught it, dragged across the field, and a good time to throw that time for New Haven. And here's a deep throw, far sideline, just throwing it up, letting a receiver run to it, but it's too far and incomplete. Thought he might have had his big target, Whitney Harris, who's the 6'5 wideout, and a penalty is going to be called against the Generals.
Roughing the passer. That was very late that they took Moore down to the ground, and I think maybe a little frustration on the part of that Wayne defender.
2:21 left before we take our halftime break. And New Haven started this drive on the 3. They've made it out to midfield. Well, we wondered if they could go 97 yards in 3.5 minutes. So far, they've burned just over a minute, and they're already out to midfield. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs, just inside the right hash. Drop in the pocket. They're going to look to throw. Looking, scrambling to the left, throwing, and it's caught.
Number 3, Jones.
40, 35-30, and it's Deshaun Jones finally taken down as he gets to about the 20-yard line of Wayne. 30 yards on the play.
I think Jones, on that particular play, was just trying to chip block. He saw that the quarterback, Moore, was in scramble drill mode and found some open ground. Moore found him, and big gain for the Bulldogs.
Clock goes under 2 minutes. In the red zone at the 20-yard line, and the handoff, Jones. He's got a seam. 15, 10, 5, touchdown, and a flag late at the 4-yard line is going to be a hold on the wide receiver. The second time Jones has taken it into the end zone, but the play's been called back on a hold, and they'll set the flag on the 5, so they'll bring it back to the 15. Now, with it being a spot foul, the play started at the 20. It'll be put at the 15, which actually is a 5-yard gain, but it takes points off the board. Ultimately, really, with 1:50 left in the half, if you're New Haven, as long as you finish this drive, not a bad thing, because you want to score, but you don't want to score too quick. Minute 42, and the clock is reset. It's running. And New Haven's taking plenty of time on this 1st and 5 play from the Wayne 15. 21-7. New Haven looking to add to a 14-point lead. Shotgun, and they'll try the same play. And this time, Jones is met right at the line of scrimmage and pushed backwards. 2 Generals got into the backfield. Now you're down to minute 15, and New Haven's going to have to take a timeout.
Darius Alexander again defensively, and Amari Fields for Wayne. Bottled Jones up after a very, very short gain, if any.
Boy, what a player this Alexander is. At 6'6", 235 pounds, can play tight end, defensive end, and he's a sophomore. I think there'll be a few coaches putting his name on their wish list. Got a timeout. New Haven talking on the near sideline with 1:15 remaining, 21-7. And for the second time, the Bulldogs have scored, but had it taken off the board because of a hold inside the 5-yard line. That time, that block was engaged for a very long time, and the official waited and waited and waited, and about the time Jones was crossing the goal line was when the flag came flying.
Yeah, just exactly what Coach Rowland had talked about pregame, in the sense that, they need to be more disciplined. They need to limit the penalties if they're going to make a deep tournament run here, and they've had 2 touchdowns called back tonight.
Once again, coming up at halftime, we will recap things here. We'll take a break and then come back to the stadium where we'll recap our scoring here in the first half. Then we'll send it back to the studio. You'll hear AWP up close. Michael Lito had a chance to sit down with Concordia running back and defensive back Peterson Kurlegrand. We'll play that for you. And then DC Hendricks has a McDonald's halftime scoreboard before we come back for second half action here at New Haven. Teams on the field. Second down, 5 from the 15. Handoff Jones. Immediately he's going to bounce out wide to the right and run out of real estate. Wayne did a good job stretching the play and knocking out Jones after only a gain of a yard. It does stop the clock at 1:10, but it brings up third down and about 3 to go with the ball at the 13-yard line.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That outside zone play they've been running all night long with a lot of success. Wayne has made an adjustment, it appears, and they're stringing it out to the sideline.
1:10 on the clock. It is third down and a short 3 from the 13. Shotgun. A rollout to the right or to the left. Moore throws and caught at the 5. A spin at the goal. Touchdown. New Haven.
Touchdown Bulldogs.
James Gardner with the catch.
That's
a 13-yard touchdown play, and the Bulldogs score with 1:03 remaining in the second quarter.
I love that they put the quarterback on the run, and you don't see that very often. Rolling left, right-handed quarterback able to make the adjustment, square up his shoulders, and make an accurate throw, and that was a real good one.
27-7, and now the extra point try. 1:03 still left, and almost blocked. In fact, I don't know how he missed it. He came in from the near end and dove. Somehow the kick is up and good. A scoring drive of 97 yards for the New Haven Bulldogs. Capped off with a 13-yard touchdown strike from Keyshawn Moore to James Gardner. Scoring drive presented by Best Deal Auto Sales. If you want to score on your next drive, get that car, truck, or SUV from any of the 5 Best Deal Auto Sales locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales. We'll keep it here as the teams will come out to get the kickoff with 1:03 remaining in the second quarter. It's now 28-7. Bulldogs leading it over the Wayne Generals. Be very interested to hear what the halftime scoring updates are. You know, we've got Dwenger that was ahead of Marion. You've got Southside ahead of Leo. Haven't heard how things are going with Bishop Lures, but you kind of have to get to the postseason before you can gauge the strength of the Summit Athletic Conference. And last year, the SAC tested out quite well in the postseason, getting 2 state championships.
Yep, an exceptional year a year ago. Time will tell.
New Haven set for the kickoff, leading 28-7, 1:03 left here in the second. The kick, again, a deep kick, and taken at the 1-yard line. Hill up the middle, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, breaks away from one at the 35, 40, and finally taken down. Boy, the last layer of defense by New Haven might have saved a 99-yard return. Bulldogs, or the Generals, get exactly what they want here with 54.6 seconds left on the clock. They're going to have the ball at their own 46, so they've got some good field position to work with.
5'4" and 145-pound Ahmad Hill right up the middle. Tough to find in there, I guess, for the Bulldogs.
Shotgun, 2 backs, 2 receivers left. Here's a drop in the pocket, and they'll throw the screen to the right. A lot of cushion, a lot of space. 45 to the 40 and pushing to the 39. That's going to be a 15-yard gain, a first down, and Wayne's going to hurry up. The clock stops while they move the chains, and then they'll get it restarted. So Wayne needs to hurry up and get set. The clock will start. And Wayne confused. The clock is running. It's under 40 seconds. And now they're taking time to look at the sideline, ask for the play. It's down to 34 seconds. Down to 33, 32. Wayne taking a lot of time to run this play. They're down 28-7 from the 39-yard line. They'll send a man in motion. More delay. Here's a run to the right, and New Haven is all over it, and they tackle Collins Jones inbounds, which forces Wayne to use a timeout. Just terrible, terrible clock management and understanding of the situation by the Generals here late in the first half. 28-7 the score, but they're down to 12 seconds, and they just used their last timeout.
Yeah, that was a bit of a fiasco from the very beginning. They lined up wrong in their formation. They didn't get the play in quickly enough, and then on top of that, they sent a man in motion as the clock is running under 30 seconds.
He's got to go all the way across the formation before they can snap it.
Yeah, tough to say a lot of nice things about that sequence.
12 seconds remaining before we take our break. Again, at halftime, a note to DC Hendricks in the studio. We'll take a regular commercial break. Then we'll come back here to the stadium where we'll update the scoring for the first half. Then we'll send it back to the studio for the AWP Up Close with Peterson Kurlegrand, followed by the scoreboard, the McDonald's scoreboard, and then we'll come back for our second half. Here's a drop in the pocket, a roll, and then throwing it deep down the field and throws it over everybody, and there's still 4.8 seconds left. Be third down. Not quite a full Hail Mary, but a deep pass down to about the 14 or 15-yard line, and they'll have another shot at it.
It's unfortunate that they've handled it this poorly because they've had great field position and they had some receivers open there. They very well could have put some points on the board before halftime with a little better execution of a 2-minute drill.
And it will be New Haven getting the football first in the second half. So with 4.8 seconds left, they line up third down and 13. Drop. They will throw it deep, and it goes over everybody's head at the 5-yard line, and there's still 1/10 of a second. A quick finger by the New Haven clock operator gives us 1/10 of a second on fourth down.
I see a lot of heads turning around in the stands, looking up into the press box, wondering how the home clock operator can stop it with 1/10 of a second.
How do you give them one more play? Smiles in the booth to our left. I probably embarrassed Smiles after they realized that they'd clicked it with 1/10 of a second, giving Wayne a fourth down play. Boy, there'll be a lot more looks if they score on this one. They're at the 42-yard line of New Haven. Fourth down, 13. Only 1/10 of a second left before halftime. Drop. Here comes the blitz, and he escapes, rolls to the right, and he's going to keep on running down the sideline. Cuts away from one at the 30 and makes it inside the 25 before getting tackled, but that play more than burned 1/10 of a second. So a nice run, but it doesn't mean much. It sends the teams to the locker room here at the half with the New Haven Bulldogs leading it over the Wayne Generals 28-7. We'll take a break. We'll get caught up on commercials, and then we will come back here to John Young Stadium, where we'll give you a scoring recap of our first half before our McDonald's halftime scoreboard from the studio. It's all on the way at halftime. 28-7, New Haven leading it over Wayne on ESPN Radio, 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Every great team has focus and talent. And at Parkview Sports Medicine, our focus is on you. Hi, I'm Tommy Schegler, the new director of Parkview Sports Medicine, your one-stop shop for all things sports. Whether you're a weekend warrior or an aspiring pro, we're here to help you be a better athlete. From performance training and nutrition counseling to orthopedic surgery, athletic rehab, and more, Parkview Sports Medicine's got you covered. We bring together today's top experts in sports medicine to improve the performance and treatment of athletes like you. Our partners include Sport One Orthopedics, AWP Sports Training, and Parkview Athletic Rehab. They're all suited up and ready to serve you. Want to know more? Go to parkview.com/sportsmedicine to learn how we can help you be your best. Parkview Sports Medicine. Upgrade your game.
My name is Bobby. I'm a veteran and lost my leg to a roadside bomb. My victory was going from a wheelchair to becoming a weightlifting champion.
I'm Sam. I'm a veteran. My victory was finding a career I can be proud of and supporting my family.
America's veterans are on their most important tour, the tour of their lives.
I'm a veteran. My victory was going from homeless to home.
At DAV, we're on a mission to help veterans get the benefits they've earned.
I'm a veteran, and my victory was finishing my education.
DAV offers veterans of all generations a lifetime of support for victories great and small.
My victory was proving that disability is not a limitation.
My victory was getting my service dog a new best friend.
We help more than 1 million veterans every year as they face and conquer their challenges.
My victory is being able to be there for my family.
When America's veterans win, we all win. Help us support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Welcome to Friday Night Football, presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The New Haven Band would like to invite you to enjoy their 2016 show entitled Pure Imagination. Under the direction of Todd Caffey, the band has been performing at various competitions and home football games. Drum majors Bree Rhodes and Connor James, is your band ready? You may take the field in performance. Ladies and gentlemen, the New Haven High School Mighty Marching Bulldogs.
People can say that about us, but then it's just all about what we do. We got to stay focused throughout this whole playoffs. Don't underestimate a team. Don't overestimate a team. Just look at what we have to do and just improve on everything we've been doing. And so I think it's just great. I know we can do it, and we just all got to believe in ourselves.
I really look forward to seeing you back on the field this Friday. I love watching you play, love working with you, and excited to see you guys win a state championship. Concordia deserves it more than anybody. Coach Manigal and his staff have done a tremendous job. So look forward to seeing you play this week, man. Good luck the rest of the playoffs.
Thank you.
Every great team has focus and talent. And at Parkview Sports Medicine, our focus is on you. Hi, I'm Tommy Schegler, the new director of Parkview Sports Medicine, your one-stop shop for all things sports. Whether you're a weekend warrior or an aspiring pro, we're here to help you be a better athlete. From performance training and nutrition counseling to orthopedic surgery, athletic rehab, and more, Parkview Sports Medicine's got you covered. We bring together today's top experts in sports medicine to improve the performance and treatment of athletes like you. Our partners include Sport One Orthopedics, AWP Sports Training, and Parkview Athletic Rehab. They're all suited up and ready to serve you. Want to know more? Go to parkview.com/sportsmedicine to learn how we can help you be your best. Parkview Sports Medicine. Upgrade your game.
My name is Bobby. I'm a veteran and lost my leg to a roadside bomb. My victory was going from a wheelchair to becoming a weightlifting champion.
I'm Sam. I'm a veteran. My victory was finding a career I can be proud of and supporting my family.
America's veterans are on their most important tour, the tour of their lives.
I'm a veteran. My victory was going from homeless to home.
At DAV, we're on a mission to help veterans get the benefits they've earned.
I'm a veteran, and my victory was finishing my education.
DAV offers veterans of all generations a lifetime of support for victories great and small.
My victory was proving that disability is not a limitation.
My victory was getting my service dog a new best friend.
We help more than 1 million veterans every year as they face and conquer their challenges.
My victory is being able to be there for my family.
When America's veterans win, we all win. Help us support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
It's high school football presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
This is DC Hendricks. I'm here with the McDonald's halftime scoreboard. You currently are listening to the Fort Wayne High School Football Game of the Week. The Wayne Generals battling the New Haven Bulldogs. New Haven currently leading 28-7 at the half. Other scores around the area. In Class 4A, Angola trailing Plymouth 16-9 at the half. East Noble leading DeKalb 31-0. Other Class 4A action. Northwood leading Columbia City 45-0. Other Class 4A scores in the area. Marion, starting the second half, drove down the field. Tyrell Phelps, quarterback for Marion, goes down the field in 3 minutes. Marion currently leads Dwinger Saints 14-13. Southside Archers leading Leo Lions 20-3 at the half. In Class 3A scores, Garrett currently leads Fairfield 21-8. Culver Academy leading Lakeland 24-21. Jimtown leading Heritage 14-0. And a tie in Class 3A. Currently West Noble tied with Tippecanoe Valley 14-all. Other Class 3A scores. Lures battling Northwestern. Lures, Deshaun Buss, the wide receiver, left the game in the second quarter with a knee injury. He walked off the field very slowly, has not returned, but no problem for Lures as they are leading Northwestern 35-7. Belmont shutting out Norwell 33-0. The Concordia Cadets leading Yorktown 33-7. Class 2A scores. Whitco, Central Noble. Central Noble leading Whitco 18-14. Eastside battling Churubusco. Eastside leading 10-7. South Adams leading Prairie Heights 41-0. Woodland leading Bluffton 34-0. And Class 1A scores. LaVille leading Fremont 21-0. Adams Central leading West Dell 21-7. And last but not least, Monroe Central leading Southern Wells 48-7. And those who've seen the state championship last year, Columbia East currently leading New Pal 20-7. So there may not be a rematch for the Snyder Panthers this year. You are listening to the McDonald's Halftime Scoreboard presented by McDonald's, now with all-day breakfast. For all the latest information, follow McDonald's of Northern Indiana on Twitter at MCD_NorthernIND. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Send it back to the field with Brett Rumble, Corey Kitchen for the second half action of the Wayne Generals and the New Haven Bulldogs. You are listening to the High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 AM and 100.9 FM.
Dude, I'm pretty nervous for this date.
Nah, you got this. First dates are all about finding what you have in common.
Like putting sweaters on dogs?
Sure, but I was thinking about going to a place you both like, where you both can get your favorites.
Oh, like McDonald's.
Exactly. But do yourself a favor. Please, don't tell any of your elevator jokes.
But they work on so many levels.
Here's a deal that's no joke. McDonald's new McPick 2 for $2.50 menu includes McDouble, 6-piece chicken McNuggets, small fries, and hot fudge sundae. Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Price of single item posted on menu.
Indiana Physical Therapy is your choice in Northern Indiana. Just like filling a medication prescription from your doctor, you have the right to choose who provides your physical therapy. And IPT accepts all insurance coverage. Open 7 to 7 with 15 conveniently located clinics. 7 in Fort Wayne, plus Angola, Auburn, Bluffton, Columbia City, Huntington, Kendallville, New Haven, and Warsaw. Indiana Physical Therapy will get you back to work, play, and life. Celebrating 28 years in business, Indiana Physical Therapy is your choice for physical therapy. Call 260-209-2464 or visit indianapt.com.
My name is Bobby. I'm a veteran and lost my leg to a roadside bomb. My victory was going from a wheelchair to becoming a weightlifting champion.
I'm Sam. I'm a veteran. My victory was finding a career I can be proud of and supporting my family.
America's veterans are on their most important tour, the tour of their lives.
I'm a veteran. My victory was going from homeless to home.
At DAV, we're on a mission to help veterans get the benefits they've earned.
I'm a veteran, and my victory was finishing my education.
DAV offers veterans of all generations a lifetime of support for victories great and small.
My victory was proving that disability is not a limitation.
My victory was getting my service dog a new best friend.
We help more than 1 million veterans every year as they face and conquer their challenges.
My victory is being able to be there for my family.
When America's veterans win, we all win. Help us support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
We're back to the field. Presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Welcome back to John Young Stadium and the campus of New Haven High School. Brett Rump, Corey Kitchen, and we're about ready for second half action with the New Haven Bulldogs leading it over the Wayne Generals 28-7. Had a chance to hear the McDonald's halftime scoreboard with DC Hendricks, and I know a few of the scores that we heard raised our eyebrows, including Bishop Lures with a very convincing lead over Northwestern. Concordia, a big lead over Yorktown. Not exactly one of those that raised the eyebrows, but it's good to see the SAC having a good night. Southside in the SAC beating up on Leo. That one probably one of the shockers of the night.
No question about it. And I think Bishop Dwenger being down a point right now to Marion is a bit of a surprise, certainly to me.
There's a new attitude down in Marion with football. They've not been a real good football team for a number of years, and all of a sudden they get a new coach. They win some games this year. They start to believe in themselves. It's amazing what I've talked about this word before about culture.
Yeah.
And what culture brings to a program, you know, that confidence that when you actually believe you're worth winning and you believe you can win. And we know Bishop Dwenger is going to wear a target. Going down to Marion all week long, they thought we get the first shot at the defending state champions.
I can't agree more on your culture comment. I think changing the culture of a football program of 50, 60, 70 plus kids is one of the most difficult coaching jobs in sports.
So we're just about set to get our second half underway with the Wayne Generals kicking it off to the New Haven Bulldogs. New Haven scored 14 points directly off turnovers in that first half. A fumble that gave them a very short field and an interception. Here's the kick taken at the 8. Nishawn Jones is going to try to get the edge, and he cuts it up at the hash marks, 35-40. Blockers ahead of him, 45-50, and now he's heading down the sideline. The 20, the 15, and finally knocked out near the 10. Wow, did he get down that sideline quick.
Great job by their kickoff return team of setting up a wall on the near sideline to us, their own sideline, and Jones just hit it like he was shot out of a cannon down that sideline.
And what's interesting, there was one defender in the coverage that had a chance to kind of contain and get outside him, so he just cut in and then got right back outside and avoided really the one player that might have had the best shot at him. Now they're down to the 9-yard line where it's first and goal. After a long return by Nishawn Jones. So dangerous. And there's a flag before we get a snap. And let's see what it is. Too many men?
They're counting.
Substitution penalty of some sort.
Yeah.
And that's the extra guy heading off. Yeah. We said that after they call that against you, you always, it's almost like the walk of shame when you have to head over to the sideline knowing that everybody sees you as the 12th man that just drew the flag. So half the distance puts it inside the 5 where it's first and goal. And Jones up the middle following the blocking into the end zone. Touchdown. One play, 19 seconds. And it's all Nishawn Jones. 34-7, and that didn't take long for New Haven to extend their lead.
They ran an inside trap there, a little different, kind of the play that they started out the first half with some success, and let Jones finish it off himself.
Try to, again, add the extra point for the 5th time. New Haven's kicker is Juan Bonilla, and it's a high pop-up kick, and good. Didn't go very far, but it went up and over the uprights, and it's 35-7. A one-play scoring drive presented by Best Deal Auto Sales. If you want to score on your next drive, get a car, truck, or SUV from any of the 5 Best Deal Auto Sales locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales. Not the start coming out of the locker room that the Wayne Generals wanted to have. Gave up a 97-yard touchdown drive with a minute left to go in the first half, and then boom, New Haven gets a huge return on the kick by Nishawn Jones, setting him up at the 9. A penalty puts it inside the 5, and one play later, Nishawn Jones has yet another touchdown. Is that his 3rd or 4th of the game?
I believe that's 4 now.
He's actually been in the end zone, I think, about 5 or 6 times, but a couple of times he got called back because of flags. That's why I've lost count. 11:41 remains. We're in the 3rd quarter. It's 35-7, New Haven.
That's 3 touchdowns for Jones. James Gardner's had 2 receiving.
So New Haven will kick it off. We await the kick of Bonilla, and it's up. A deep line drive taken by Hill to 3, right up the middle of the field. The 15, now he bounces it to the left at the 20, 25 at the hash marks, 30, 35, 40, 50, 40, and taken down at the New Haven 36. What a return by Wayne. 2 long kickoff returns, and Corey, we talked about it before the game. There's a lot of good athletes that can really make big plays, and how would New Haven, who hasn't seen quite as many of these athletes and played against them, how would they respond? And that time, the athleticism of Ahmad Hill, and you can see it.
No question about it. And that's exactly what we talked about with pursuit angles. I don't think New Haven's been used to this season having to have the pursuit angles to the speed of Wayne.
11:29 remaining, third quarter. Give to the running back. Helshaw bouncing it left. Gets it inside the 35. Short gain, maybe 3 yards. I think they'll put it close to the 34. So that'll be about a 2-yard gain. Second down, short 8. Wayne has the big strike capabilities, but the defense is going to have to start slowing down this high-powered New Haven offense. Drop in the pocket. Roll to the right. Now tuck it, run, space up the middle, inside the 30, 25, 20, and down near the 18-yard line. Nice run by DeAndre Collins-Jones, the Wayne quarterback. And again, you talk about that speed. They had bad pursuit angles once Collins-Jones got in the open field, taking that quarterback keeper up the middle.
Looked like he wanted to throw a screen. Maybe it was covered by New Haven. He decided to turn it into a run the other direction and made some big yardage.
Drop in the pocket, throwing left and overthrown, intercepted inside the 5. New Haven heads the other way and taken down at the 29. And that looks like number 9, I believe.
Ivan Upshaw.
That's going to be Ivan Upshaw, the 6'2 defensive back. He's a senior making the pick, and just a bad throw by Collins-Jones. He sailed it high over the receiver, and Upshaw was just hanging deep in center field, taking advantage and picking it off. And now New Haven has the football with a 35-7 lead.
Upshaw's 6th interception of the season. He was second in the area in interceptions coming into tonight's game, and he'll add to that tally here.
New Haven with the football at their own 29-yard line. 10:23 remaining. We're in the third quarter, and it's 35-7 Bulldogs. Roll to the left. Rolling. And Moore throws near sideline. It's incomplete. Good coverage on Austin Myers that time by the Wayne defensive back, Fabian Pearson.
Yeah, I think Wayne's finally figured out that little rollout flood pattern that New Haven's putting out there, and had really good coverage there.
Clock stops at 10:16 here in the third. Bulldogs had only 7 points after our first 12-minute session. But they got 21 in the second quarter and got 7 very quickly within 19 seconds here in the third. Drop in the pocket, little screen play on the run. It's Jones, 35, 40, and out of bounds near sideline at the 43. That's a 14-yard pickup and a beautifully placed football by Keyshawn Moore, just lobbing it out to Nishawn Jones, letting him run to it in full stride, and that gave him the angle to get to the sideline and get a nice gain. First down, New Haven.
Yeah, they just ran a swing route out of the backfield to Jones, and that's a great play to run against a defense because oftentimes linebackers won't follow running backs out of the backfield like that.
From their own 44, Bulldogs left hash. Man in motion, across formation, play action. They'll drop back, look to throw. Here comes the rush. They tuck it. And takes off near sideline, 45, 50, and stepping into Wayne territory and out of bounds near the 48.5-yard line. So the scramble that time for Moore, and he turns it into about a 7-yard gain.
That was a great decision on his part. They had a play-action pass dialed up. They made a fake to Jones up the middle. He was looking down the middle for a deep ball. It was not there. He didn't force it and scrambled out of the pocket for about a 7-yard gain.
Second down, we'll call it about 2.5. Ball's at the 48.5 of Wayne. They will give it up the middle. Jones inside the 45. He's hit, and he brings tacklers to the 40. Well, that's a quick 8.5 yards for Jones and a first down for the New Haven Bulldogs. Clock's under 10 minutes left in the third, and the Bulldogs leading it over the Wayne Generals 35-7. After the game, join us at the New Haven Pizza Hut for the Indiana Physical Therapy postgame show. Austin Render will be our official scoreboard operator. We'll give you a rundown of all the scores of the first week of the state tournament and talk to some area coaches. Drop back, pocket, Moore, pump fakes. Now he'll dance up the middle of the field. Looks like he got grabbed by the face mask, and he did at the 37. And that draws a flag, and that'll be a 15-yarder.
Yeah, that was a head snap back, turn all the way around face mask, so I assume that'll certainly be a 15-yard variety. Appears he's all right, though.
Yep. Basically tackled by the face mask. They'll march the 15 yards, the first down, and again, New Haven starting this drive at their own 29. They already have a 97-yard scoring drive late in the first half. They move the chains, and they sit the football at the 22, where it's 1st and 10 Bulldogs. Moore in a shotgun, rolls to the right. He's going to look, and I throw short to the underneath man. It's caught by Gardner. 15, 10, still staying in bounds down near the 5 before finally getting knocked out. James Gardner, and you talk about that flood route. They send a guy deep and out. They send a guy medium and out, and then Gardner was the short man uncovered. It's very difficult for a defense to guard all three guys.
No doubt about it, and obviously that's why they're running it. They've had a lot of success with it tonight. To my knowledge, I think Wayne only covered it really well one time so far.
1st and goal from the 7-yard line. Bulldogs looking to add to a 35-7 lead with 8:42 left here in the third quarter. And it's the quick option. They pitch Nishan Jones. He can just walk to the end zone. 7 yards. Touchdown, Nishan Jones. Touchdown number 4 of the night for Jones. And the Bulldogs extend their lead to 41-7.
Good looking play. Just a speed option to the short side of the field, and they're just taking advantage of less numbers over there.
It's interesting when they run that speed option. Generally always pitch quickly. It's almost like it may be an option, but it's not an option. He knows that he's going to be pitching it to a star running back. But they run it to the short side. And what's the advantage offense to run that to the short side?
I think with the formations that they're using, the defense will overload the wide side of the field, giving them less defenders to the short side.
Extra point is good, and Bonilla remains perfect on the night. It's 42-7, a scoring drive presented by Best Deal Auto Sales. If you want to score on your next drive, get a car, truck, or SUV from any of Best Deal Auto Sales' 5 locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales. This is the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Back here on Boys Sports Network, 42-7.
8:34 remaining here in the third quarter. It's 42-7. The New Haven Bulldogs have the lead over the Wayne Generals. I am Brett Rump along with Corey Kitchen here at John Young Stadium. Well, the New Haven Bulldogs came in 8-0. One of the top 3 teams in the state scoring, also one of the top defensive teams in the state, one of the top teams for average margin of victory. We wondered if an SHC team who's taken on a very tough schedule and had a lot of athleticism, something perhaps that New Haven hasn't seen as much of in the NE8, would cause them problems. And, well, they've answered the question to the tune of 42-7 so far, less than 4 minutes into the third quarter. This kick will sail into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Generals will start at the 20-yard line. You've seen New Haven a couple of times. I know you saw them against East Noble. It's End of 33. Both sides of the football.
Yeah, athletically, certainly they can match up with anybody, I believe, in the state in 4A. It's a matter for them, I think, of discipline. Coach Rowland mentioned it, no penalties or limiting their penalties and not beating themselves, but they're a good group. And I think on the other side of the ball, I think Coach Moore's got this program headed in the right direction, but it's going to take time. It's not an overnight fix.
Generals start at their own 20. DeAndre Collins-Jones, the senior quarterback, 5 yards deep. Takes a one-handed catch of the shotgun snap, and it's a quarterback draw. And, boy, Collins-Jones just got hit hard as he got back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. 2nd down and 10.
Linebacker Jacob Birch from New Haven put a great hit on the quarterback there. This defense flies to the football. They get there quickly, and normally they're in a bad mood when they do.
Bulldogs up 42-7. Clock will wind under 8 minutes here in the third quarter. Generals with the football. 2nd down and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Ball's just inside the right hash. Got 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Empty backfield. And it'll be the bubble screen, and it's off the hands of the intended receiver on the left side, incomplete. Tried to get it quickly out to John Allen. And the incomplete pass now brings up 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you're behind, you try to throw the ball, then you throw it incomplete and stop the clock, and it just it starts to become a self-fulfilling prophecy that you get behind the 8 ball a little bit.
Makes a long night longer when you just don't execute. It's been a tough night for Wayne. 3 turnovers have led to Bulldogs scores. And now they face 3rd down and 10 from their own 20. Here comes the blitz. A low snap picked up, but that's going to be a sack on DeAndre Collins-Jones. New Haven sent the linebackers, went right up the middle, and Collins-Jones really no time at all in the pocket after the low snap. He had to reach down, and when he came back up, New Haven was all over him. It's back at the 15-yard line where it'll be 4th down and 15.
Like Braxton Madison in there for New Haven, but you mentioned it, Brett. They have had a trouble with snaps all night long, and when you run a shotgun offense, there's no faster way to throw off the timing of everything you do than to have a bad snap.
Here's the punt from about the 5-yard line. It's a high kick, and it will be a bounce at the 45 and picked up on one hop at the 42 and immediately wrapped up for no real return yards. But again, New Haven made the mistake of letting the ball bounce. Hate to see that. You put a guy deep and the ball hangs in the air like that, and you play it on one hop. You could come up, make the catch.
Yeah, you save yourself some field position if you come up, and even if it's a fair catch, at least come up and save some yardage.
So they sit it at the 43-yard line. 6:55 in the clock. We're in the third quarter. Brett Rump with Corey Kitchen. And New Haven goes to work. Already leading 42-7. They still have the first unit in. That'll be the question, too, how long this first unit will go. Roll to the right. More throws. Deep down the right sideline. Man-to-man coverage. Catch is made, but it's wide out of bounds. Boy, a beautiful throw, and again, they're picking on Hill at 5'4". They believe the taller receivers can go up and make plays, but the ball has to be in the field of play. That time they couldn't come up with it and stay in bounds.
Just barely out of bounds, but I cannot express how good a throw that is. That was 40 yards in the air over the receiver's outside shoulder and just barely out of bounds, but that's a pretty throw from Moore.
That time, the intended receiver appeared to be Pentrell Thomas. He's only 5'11". They don't have quite the size advantage with Thomas, with 6'5" Harris on the other side. Handoff Jones up the middle. He crosses the 45 and gets out near midfield at the 49, about a 6-yard gain for Jones. They will bring up a 3rd down and about 4. facing the Bulldogs.
Good run up the middle. At some point, I'm going to start to wonder, when do you get Jones? When do you get more out of this game at 42-7? You hope to make a deep tournament run. I hope they keep those guys healthy.
3rd down 4 from their own 49-yard line. Bulldogs just inside the left hash, but trip receivers right. Now Jones lines up on the left shoulder of Moore, who drops in the pocket, looks to throw, fires it over the middle, and a lot of contact. There's the flag. An incomplete pass. But the intended receiver running the post route was getting mugged almost the whole way as Moore was looking for Kentrell Thomas on the post route. And it's a pass interference call that will be a first down then for the New Haven Bulldogs.
Ahmad Hill on the defense there and just got to him a little early. But I'm going to tell you what, talk about a kid with a lot of desire and been on the field all night long. Ahmad Hill, I'm not sure he's come out of the game.
No, at 5'4", 145 pounds, he's a senior. He just battles and might have to put more into effort. Inch for inch. There's a handoff up the middle. Jones inside the 30 to the 29, but a flag as the flag lays right along the path that Jones took. That's probably going to be a hold.
Holding against the Bulldogs.
Indeed it is.
And it's going to bring it back 10 yards. Well, even in a dominating performance where New Haven has the 42-7 lead, there's going to be some coachable moments for Jim Rowland because, it's win in advance, but you also have to perfect some of the mistakes. They've had a couple. Roll to the right, looking to throw Moore. He rolls, he'll keep it, then run out of bounds near the 42-yard line. Talk about those coachable moments. New Haven's had 2 touchdowns taken off the board because of holding calls, and they just had a nice game negated because of a holding call there.
Yeah, those are a coach's nightmare. You hate that sort of thing. And, right there on that particular play, Moore did a nice job on this rollout. They ran a little different flood pattern there where the inside 2 receivers and the trips ran vertical routes, and they just ran an out route with the outside guy. He was covered, but Moore had the presence of mind to just run it out of bounds and not force it. So nicely done there.
5:33 left in the 3rd. Here's a drop back. Moore looks, airs it out, and inside the 10, a jump ball, and I think it's intercepted by the Generals. It is. Inside the 5, the ball picked off by Wade.
Our guy, Ahmad Hill, on the interception.
How about that? A jump ball, and the 5'4" guy ends up with it. I think it got tipped maybe to him.
Yeah, I
Hard
tend
to tell from our angle.
Yeah, it was tipped, certainly. I think really Moore's first bad decision tonight. He threw into some double coverage over the middle there on a play that he really didn't need to force. And
really just lobbed it up high in the air right into the coverage. So it turns into New Haven's first turnover. With 5:22 remaining in the 3rd, it's the Bulldogs leading at 42-7. Wayne starts at the 5-yard line. Drop back in the pocket. The throw toward the left side is low and incomplete at the 10-yard line. That will stop the clock at 5:19. Now we're starting to assume New Haven will advance. And of course, looking in this sectional, you also have Bishop Dwenger, who's in a battle down in Marion.
Still down 14-13 in the 4th quarter, my understanding.
Here we've got 5:19 left in the 3rd. It's 42-7. Handoff and met immediately right at the goal line. They'll give him forward progress to the 1. Not sure if that was Kelshaw, but it was New Haven in the backfield, almost getting to the running back before the handoff.
Yeah, they had multiple guys there and stood him up at about the 1, drove him a couple of yards deep into the end zone. So I think they're fortunate that they got some forward progress there.
It is 3rd down We'll call it 14 from just outside the 1. Shotgun from the end zone. They'll try the screen, and he escapes one from the end zone and gets into positive yards across the 5 out to about the 10. Boy, that was close to being a 2-point safety, but instead the Generals get out to the 10-yard line. It'll bring up a 4th down and 5, almost 4th and 6.
I think that was Javier Johnson kind of caught that ball about right on the goal line, maybe even a yard deep into the end zone. And I think he broke 3-4 tackles to get it out to the 10-yard line.
So it's punt formation from the end zone. The ball is kicked. It's very low and out of bounds. That will be a shank. That is what they call a shank, a low kick, and that's the pressure of having to kick from your own end zone, I think. Trying to get rid of it quickly, get it off the side of the foot, and let's see where they march it off to. I think they're going to put it around the 25-yard line.
Yeah, 25, 26-yard line, and you're exactly right. Kicking out of that end zone is a punter's worst nightmare.
So that's going to end up being a 15-yard or 16-yard punt. They'll put it at the 26. And here's New Haven with a short field again at the 26-yard line. 1st and 10, already leading 42-7. Handoff. Jones tries to pick a hole behind the right side of the line and doesn't find much. He gets inside the 25 to the 24, gains a couple. 2nd down and 8. Seems like New Haven really likes the right side of their line, too.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right on that also. I mean, they've got some big fellas over there. There's no doubt about it.
Their right guard is Jeffrey Johnson, who's 344 pounds. 2nd down and 8. From the 24, drop, Moore, almost slips. Now here comes the pursuit, and they sack Moore back at the 33-yard line.
I have got to assume that field is a lot worse in the middle than it looks with all the rain we've received over the last few days. He just never, ever caught his footing to set his feet and make a throw.
That's a 9-yard loss on the sack. 2:54, and the clock's running here at the last part of the 3rd quarter. It's 42-7, New Haven the lead, but the Bulldogs face a 3rd down and 16 from the Wayne 33. Trip receivers left. Single back is Jones to the right shoulder of Moore, and Jones will get the handoff up the middle. He's met at the 30 and still is able to power to about the 29, but a 3-yard gain or 4-yard gain on 3rd down and 16 isn't going to help a whole lot. I think they thought maybe that Wayne would kind of spread the defense. They could find a seam for Jones. Didn't find one. It's 4th down and 13. Called 4th and 12 with the ball at about the 29.5.
Yeah, I don't mind the play call on 3rd and long when you know you're going to run a play on 4th down. So we'll see what they dial up here.
And they're going for it. Last 2 minutes of the 3rd quarter, they already lead at 42-7. Moore will look to throw. Throws it deep down the sideline, and he overshoots his man inside the 5. Trying to, again, take advantage of that man-to-man coverage on Hill. And boy, Hill has just got to feel like he has been picked on all night long, that New Haven has targeted whoever he has had as his assignment. And he's going to hobble over to the bench. I think they've just worn him out.
I was just going to say, I think that young man's going to sleep well tonight.
Minute 45 left. We're in the 3rd quarter here at John Young Stadium at New Haven High School. The New Haven Bulldogs looking to improve to 9-0 on the season, leading the Wayne Generals 42-7. Wayne takes over, 1st and 10 at the 29. Man in motion, left to right. They'll fake the jet sweep. And Collins will keep it. Take it to the left side where he crosses the 35, maybe out to about the 37-yard line. Collins Jones will get about an 8-yard carry. Be 2nd down and a long 2 for the Generals. They go into a hurry up. Empty backfield. Low snap again. Collins Jones goes down and grabs it. Here comes pressure. Collins Jones avoids one. Takes it to the far sideline. Dives toward the first down marker, and I think he gets it at the 40. Needed 2, he got 3. A first down for the Wayne Generals will move the chains with 1:10 left here in the third quarter. And New Haven leading it over Wayne 42-7.
He has been running for his figurative life all night long in that Wayne backfield.
A lot of it, like you said last series, it starts with the low snap. It just disrupts timing so much. And the quarterback then has to look down, loses sight of what the defense is doing. Jet sweep to the right, cutting up inside the hash marks, and met at the 42 is Kelshaw. A gain of 2, maybe 3, depending where they give him forward progress. And it'll be second down, long 7, last minute of our third quarter.
That shotgun snap is something that you don't even notice takes place until it's bad.
Yeah, it's like umpires, officials, left guards. Things you don't notice unless they make mistakes.
Absolutely.
Wayne lines it up, second down and 7 from their own 43-yard line. Shotgun. In the pocket, throwing over the middle. Wide open receiver at the New Haven 40. That's Zach Daniels. Boy, he went down and cut across the middle of the field, and no defender. And I got to think that this New Haven defense has had a couple receivers that they have almost left uncovered. One, the touchdown that Wayne has on the board. And that time, nobody picked up Daniels cutting over the middle of the field.
Ran a little skinny post route and came wide open.
Last 5 seconds of the third quarter. They'll get the snap off. They'll fake the jet sweep, and now it's a run. 30, 25, cutting it back the other way. At the 24, 23, 20, still fighting, and finally taken out of bounds, far sideline near the 17 or 18-yard line, and we've got, I believe, is it a flag? The official signaled like there might be a flag, but I don't think so. I think it's the end of the quarter. End of 3. Generals in the red zone, trying to close the gap on a 42-7 deficit to the New Haven Bulldogs. We'll come back for our fourth quarter of action here at John Young Stadium at New Haven High School. This is the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
For 17 years, Northeast Indiana finds the best deals on quality previously owned vehicles at Best Deal Auto Sales. Reliable vehicles offered at or below wholesale prices. The selection is great and the deals are even better at any of the Best Deal Auto Sales 5 Northeast Indiana locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales.
Best Deal Auto Sales.
BestDealAutoSalesOnline.com.
This broadcast is brought to you by Partners First Credit Union. See them for mortgages, home equity loans, great rates on auto loans, and multiple options for your checking and savings accounts. At Partners First, they'll call you by name because you're not just a customer, you're a member. Visit partnersfirstcu.org for more information or stop in any of the local Partners First branch offices. Partners First Federal Credit Union, supporting the community as the presenting sponsor of high school football on ESPN 1380.
It's high school football, presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Starting the fourth quarter here at New Haven High School. I am Brett Rump along with Corey Kitchen. Generals have the ball at the 17, trailing 42-7. They'll run the jet sweep right, and they get to the 15, the 10, and there's a flag. Laying at the 14-yard line, and it's just about at the hash mark on the side of the field that the jet sweep was run, and that's likely a hold, and it is a hold. Well, both teams have seen their share of holding penalties. Well, that could take a little bit of the momentum away from Wayne. They had a nice drive going, but now it's marched back to the 24-yard line where it will be first down and 17. After the games are over, be sure you keep it here on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM for the Indiana Physical Therapy Postgame Show live from Pizza Hut. We'll be joined by Austin Render with all your postgame scores, coaches' comments, and more right after the game. Drop in the pocket, throwing down the sideline, and in center field, the ball's picked off. Here goes the return. Midfield, 45. Flag down, 40, 35. Crossing to the right side, the 30, the 25, 10, a 5, and touchdown. But let's see about the flag. It's TJ Witt who picked it off, and he took it all the way, but I think it's coming back. On the return, I believe we've got a hold called against the New Haven Bulldogs.
Great job of being in the right place at the right time on the interception, and tremendous run back, but obviously aided by a block in the back, I believe.
Would have been I think close to a 99-yard return because he intercepted it, I think, just outside the goal line, and it is a block in the back called against New Haven. Well, for the Bulldogs, I believe that's the third touchdown that they will have taken off the board because of a penalty.
Yeah.
Nishawn Jones scored on a couple of runs that were called back because of holds. This one, a long return of an interception brought back because of a block in the back. So the Bulldogs have it 1st and 10, leading at 42-7, 11-12 to play. And now perhaps the question of the night will be, how long does Jim Rowland keep the first unit out there? Of course, a team that averages over 50 points a game, they're still 8 points shy of that. Maybe that's the magic mark. Get it close to 50 or get it to our average, and I'll let you take a seat. I think at this point for a player, I know most players, their competitors, they want to play every minute, but sometimes I think it's nice to know you can get that break, especially if your plan is to play 15 games.
Absolutely.
Shotgun, handoff Jones. Jones is met as soon as he takes the handoff about 4 yards deep in the backfield. He goes down at the 25-yard line. That's a loss of 3. 2nd down, 13.
You mentioned when do we take him out, and one of the things that I look at is how much tread is off the tires, so to speak, of a running back by the end of the season. And Jones, to New Haven's credit, has only given him the ball coming into tonight 98 times this season, which that's the lowest number of any of the 20 leading rushers in the area.
Be an average of about 12 times a game. You know, he'd be able to carry the ball if he didn't take so many of them to the end zone.
That's exactly right.
he'd get to carry it more often. Timeout's going to be called by New Haven. 10:32 to go. 42-7. Bulldogs leading it over the Wayne Generals. You're listening to the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
This broadcast is brought to you by Partners First Credit Union. See them for mortgages, home equity loans, great rates on auto loans, and multiple options for your checking and savings accounts. At Partners First, they'll call you by name because you're not just a customer, you're a member. Visit partnersfirstcu.org for more information or stop in any of the local Partners First branch offices. Partners First Federal Credit Union, supporting the community as the presenting sponsor of high school football on ESPN 1380.
We're back to the field, presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
New Haven Bulldogs lead at 42-7 over the Wayne Generals with 10:32 left in the ball game. New Haven with the ball, 2nd and 13 from their own 25. They'll run some play action. Moore rolls, and then he gets hit and brought down as he lets it loose. And we've got a late flag, a very late flag. And Moore is still down. And we asked the question just before we went to break, how long do you keep these guys in? And now Moore is down after throwing the ball away on the far sideline. And I'm not sure what the flag is. Did you ever see a signal from the referee that he stopped the clock now for the injury to Keyshawn Moore? But this is certainly what New Haven does not want to see. If Moore is injured, this is where you'd say the answer to the question, when do you want to take them out, would have been one play ago.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. And, boy, you just don't like to see that.
He rolled to the left, and he had a pursuer behind him who reached out, got him about the waist, and dragged him down just as he threw the ball out of bounds. He went down somewhat awkwardly with the legs, and this might be a delay for a while.
I'm feeling better about it. I'm seeing him working a cramp out. So
that's what he's hobbling around. Now, this will be interesting because this might be a situation where he comes to the bench for the injury, and Jim Rowland, maybe it's a wake-up call. Get him out of there.
That's the way I would handle it. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, it appears to me it's a cramp. I hope that's all it is. But that they were rubbing it out, so to speak, in the back of that.
Yeah, that's a good sign. It's odd. It's not the type of weather you expect to see a lot of cramps. A cool evening, but I just thought the way he got hit and brought down was kind of awkward. But being dragged down by the lower body from behind as he's trying to throw the football, but it's taken him a long time to hobble to this near sideline. He's on his own power, but Keyshawn Moore makes it all the way to the near sideline, and we will have a backup quarterback now into the game for the New Haven Bulldogs, and he's immediately going to hand it real quick to Keyshawn Jones.
Brian Sexton.
And that'll be a situation now with a 4th down and a mile. They'll have to punt the football.
Brian Sexton is the backup quarterback for New Haven, getting a little bit of playing time, and he may get the next 10 minutes.
He's a junior, 6 foot, 155-pounder. And New Haven will line up to punt. They lead at 42-7, under 10 minutes to play. Clock runs. Standing a yard deep in the end zone. The punt is away. It's a very short kick. It'll bounce at the 35, taken at the ankles at the 40, up the middle of the field, inside the 35 on the return to about the 33 for the Wayne Generals. It's Fabian Pearson. Short punt, short return, but Wayne has great field position. They'll start the drive at the New Haven 33-yard line.
Good return. Good job picking that ball up off of one bounce. It was a short punt and got the most yardage out of it that he could.
Talk about trying to get that ball in the air. Now, that one was so short, there was no chance to get to it, but he did do a nice job of hustling up and getting it before it took a second bounce, and he had to take it right off the top of the shoelaces to keep it from taking that second skip hop. So Wayne has the ball at the New Haven 33-yard line, 1st and 10, 4 wide, 2 each side, single back in the backfield with Collins Jones, and we've got flags on the snap, and a false start will be called against Wayne with 9:35 left in the game. After the game, I'll jump over to Pizza Hut. We'll have the Indiana Physical Therapy postgame show. Austin Render with the scoreboard. He'll be our official scoreboard operator tonight, bringing you all the scores from area games. And I know it's going down to the wire in Marion, where Bishop Dwenger is in quite a battle with the Marion Giants, and the Saints have taken the lead in the 4th quarter. And Cherubusco trying to pull the upset, which I believe would be considered an upset, even though Busco came in with 2 losses, Eastside 3. But, there's a fumble snap, and it's picked up by New Haven. That'll be another turnover, picking up the loose ball for the New Haven Bulldogs. It's Jorian Freeman, and Freeman will get credit for a fumble recovery. Just another botched snap, and the ball laid free, and it was picked up. New Haven has it. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
And Keyshawn Moore is going back in.
Yep, he's coming back on. So with 9:29 remaining, a 42-7 game. New Haven has the lead. And nope. That was Keyshawn Moore who was entering the game. He forgot to ask Coach. Jim Rowland saw him out there and switched him up real quick. And Cherubusco defeats Eastside 21-16. Well, they made amends for a regular season loss to Eastside. There's a handoff to Keyshawn Jones. Jones will take it out to the 46. It's only about a half-yard gain. Second down. And about 9.5. Clock will go under 9 minutes. Not sure why this game has been a slow-moving game.
Penalties, passes, incomplete passes.
Second down, 9 from their own 46.5. Quick pitch. Nishan Jones on the run on the sweep to the left. Cuts up at the hash marks. 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, and down to the 17-yard line.
Kind of a student body left on just a old school, grade school pitch sweep left, and great vision to cut it back up the middle, and almost took it to the house.
37-yard pickup for Nishan Jones, and it's the red zone for the New Haven Bulldogs, looking to add to a 42-7 lead with 8.5 left. And again, Sexton is in a quarterback, and it looks like New Haven will go to the old I formation, put a fullback in front of Nishan Jones, and Sexton's going to go under center to take the direct snap, something you don't see a whole lot anymore in high school football, and it's give to the fullback. Big guy rumbles inside the 15 to the 13, trying to check numbers.
Roy Ayers on the carry, and Roy, I believe, 52.
That's what I thought the number was, and that's why I was confused.
Threw you off a little bit there, didn't they, with that 52 at fullback? But he's the only New Haven Bulldog that plays on both sides of the ball. He's the only two-way player for him.
But they'll stay in that I formation. They got 3 receivers wide, 2 go to the right, 1 to the left. And Sexton, the backup quarterback, under center. And gives again to Ayers up the middle on a quick pounder inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. And that's close to a first down. I think they'll put it closer to the 8 where his knee went down. In fact, they bring it all the way out almost to the 9.
He typically...
Well, it looks like he got cheated on a spot, but that'll be a couple of yards short.
Ayers typically lines up on the offensive line, I believe, at offensive guard, but they moved him back to fullback here and letting him tote the rock a little bit.
Well, that's also saving the bumps, the bruises for Nishan Jones. Let Ayers take the pounding, and he'll get the handoff again. Up the middle, following that big offensive line. He'll work his way to the 5-yard line. It'll be a 1st and goal for the New Haven Bulldogs, and now we're also going to see Nishan Jones, I think, coming out of the game. I think that'll be it for Jones. He was doing nothing but being a decoy anyway, so he's going to come out of the game, get a nice hand for the New Haven crowd. And coming in to take over at the tailback position is Jorian Freeman. Freeman lines up at tailback, about 7 yards deep, and in front of him, you've got Ayers, the fullback, and it is Ayers up the middle, rumbling down inside the 2-yard line. Halfway through our 4th quarter, the clock keeps running as it goes under 6 minutes, 42-7. Bulldogs are looking to add to it. Team that averages a little over 50 points a game offensively. Actually, they're going to be pretty close, I think, to their season averages. Give up just a little bit over a touchdown and score close to 50. Backup quarterback is Brian Sexton. Under center. Handoff. They'll try the tailback, and that's not going to work for Freeman. He gets hit at the line of scrimmage. Might have got bounced back for a half-yard loss. That'll bring up 3rd down and goal. They'll put it out at the 3-yard line.
I think Jorian Freeman's asking, where are those Nishan Jones holes?
Well, they ran to the left side.
Yeah.
Jones had all his runs on the right. Blame Sexton. He's the backup quarterback. Maybe he's left-handed or something. 5:01, 5 minutes, 4:59 it runs, and they're going to let the play clock get all the way down here, 5 seconds, and they snap it. Hand off Freeman. Freeman keeps the legs churning, and Freeman into the end zone. Touchdown from 3 yards out. Jorian Freeman scores for the New Haven Bulldogs, and they extend their lead to 48-7. for it. Wasn't easy. He had to really grind. He got hit about the 2 and just kept those legs moving and kept the push and got into the end zone. Now Bonilla is going to try to stay perfect on the extra points. And the kick is up. It's very high. Again, I think that might be wide, but I heard a flag, or I heard a whistle. I heard a flag. I heard a flag. I saw a whistle. And it's offside, called against Wayne. And now they did blow the whistle, so they can't make a determination based on whether the kick was good. I definitely saw a whistle. Didn't I see a whistle? I saw a whistle. I heard the flag and I saw the whistle. Well, let's see what they do. They're going to just line up, and they are going to move it half the distance. And Bonilla is a strange extra point kick because his kickoffs are very deep in line drives, but his extra points are pop-ups. No, not that one. Boy, did he drill that one.
Yeah.
Must have heard me and said, I'll show you. He splits the uprights. Another scoring drive presented by Best Deal Auto Sales. If you want to score on your next drive, be sure to get a car, truck, or SUV from any of the 5 Best Deal Auto Sales locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales. 49-7. New Haven leads it over Wayne. 4:48 remaining. This is the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Making it easy to get the best deal.
For 17 years, Northeast Indiana finds the best deals on quality previously owned vehicles at Best Deal Auto Sales. Reliable vehicles offered at or below wholesale prices. The selection is great and the deals are even better at any of the Best Deal Auto Sales 5 Northeast Indiana locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales.
Best Deal Auto Sales.
BestDealAutoSalesOnline.com. Let's send it back to the field. Presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
A lot of the games are already going final. Here we've still got 4:48 to play. We're at John Young Stadium on the campus of New Haven High School, and the Bulldogs leading it 49-7 over the Wayne Generals. I am Brett Rump along with Corey Kitchen. New Haven set to kick off. Bonilla. End over end kick, taken at the 10. 15 at the 20. They'll cut to the right, go far sideline. 25-30, and finally knocked out of bounds near the 32-yard line. 22-yard return, and we've got a Wayne player injured out in the middle of the field.
Devonair Kelsaw on the return. Wayne's had some pretty good luck tonight on their kickoff returns. I think they've done a nice job of setting up those returns with they have their returner run right up the middle of the field and then kick it into the next gear and hit towards the sideline. They've done a nice job with those.
So with an injured player, a Wayne General that is down at the 32, we'll try to get a number and try to get a report. We'll take a timeout. We've got 4:39 left. And New Haven leads at 49-7 over the Wayne Generals on the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Indiana Physical Therapy is your choice in Northern Indiana. Just like filling a medication prescription from your doctor, you have the right to choose who provides your physical therapy. And IPT accepts all insurance coverage. Open 7 to 7 with 15 conveniently located clinics, 7 in Fort Wayne, plus Angola, Auburn, Bluffton, Columbia City, Huntington, Kendallville, New Haven, and Warsaw. Indiana Physical Therapy will get you back to work, play, and life. Celebrating 28 years in business, Indiana Physical Therapy is your choice for physical therapy. Call 260-209-2464 or visit indianapt.com.
It's high school football, presented Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Still tending to the injured Wayne General that is down on the field, and now we're trying to get a number, and I don't want to speculate on the first of the 2 digits. I know his second digit is a 2. look to me. I don't know who it is, but they're helping them and giving them plenty of assistance to get them off the field on the far sideline, and hopefully he'll be okay. He has made it over to the Wayne sideline, and he'll be tended to by trainers. And not really sure what the injury is. Trying to keep an eye on the player, but it's the far sideline, so it's hard to see. So we've got a flag. And unsportsmanlike, and I'm not sure what that was.
Flag against Wayne.
Never saw what happened, but they just threw an unsportsmanlike flag against the Wayne Generals and marched the ball all the way back to the 28-yard line. I'm sorry, the 18-yard line.
Wasn't anything physically done, so I've got to assume it was something verbal there.
Now, did they have the must-have mouth guard rule? As they pointed to him, and I'm wondering if he had his mouth guard out at the time he went into the set position. Here comes a jet sweep left, crossing the 20 and taking it to the 22-yard line. I think it was Upshaw with the carry and short gain, and now don't want to have anything happen here late with tempers getting the best of the players, and I'm not sure what's happening now, but you've got an angry New Haven Bulldog that'll get pulled away by a teammate. And the clock runs with 4:10 left. A 49-7 game. All you want to do is get out of here healthy for both teams. New Haven's going to improve to 9-0. Low snap, but a jet sweep to the right. Cutting it up at the hash marks to the 23, where it's maybe a yard gain. Johnson, a short carry. It won't mean much. It's still third and a very long 20 to go. And the clock continues to run at 3.5 minutes. 49-7. Bulldogs leading it.
A little jet sweep there again by Wayne. I think they come to the conclusion that we're going to run the ball and try to get out of here.
Wayne lines up facing 3rd and 20 from their own 23-yard line. Again, they'll put a man in motion from the right slot, heading left, and they'll fake it and then hand it off. And look at this play. Nice run. Kelsaw across the 40, 45, and he's into New Haven territory. And there comes a late flag flying in as he gets taken out of bounds and maybe a little bit over-aggressive.
Yeah.
Officials just trying to keep control here with 2:58 remaining.
Looked like Ivan Upshaw maybe on the sideline, on Wayne's sideline, helped the player out of bounds, and then a little extra shove at the end potentially there.
2:58 still left. 49-7. The ball is placed at the 42-yard line of New Haven. Wayne with the football. And they'll run a quarterback run. Get a lead block from the running back as he gets to the 40, 35, 30, and finally brought down near sideline at about the 29-yard line. And I think they've gone to a backup quarterback. I think it might be Cameron Chambers. I'm trying to see if that's 16.
Yeah, that's 16. It's Cameron Chambers, and I don't know whether he's the backup quarterback or if they just went a little wildcat there. Yeah, appears he's a backup quarterback.
Well, and he's also listed on the lineup as a running back. We'll call him a quarterback for now.
Yeah.
If they move him to another position, then we were witnessing the Wildcat. 2:15, and the clock runs. Late fourth quarter, 49-7. Wayne with the football. Handoff. Middle, and it's the same play. Kelsaw again with a big gain. Down inside the 15, inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. They've run that play twice, and they've gotten a huge hole for Kelsaw both times. That was the one where he crossed midfield and got knocked out of bounds.
Yep, they faked the jet sweep, handoff on, I think, what I would call an inside zone. And he does a nice job of cutting it up the middle there.
If they're getting a guy pulled from the left side of that line to lead block through the hole, I'm not quite sure. But a couple of big games. Again, a low snap, handled. Bill saw the handoff, and he goes down to the backfield. And it all sets up because of the low snap to Chambers. Been a problem all night for Wayne.
We've harped on that all night and tried to get a little counter tray action there with a guard and a tackle pulling out in front of him, but it never developed.
Approaching the last minute of action, a 49-7 game. Wayne has the ball, second down 14. Jet sweep, heading right, heading it up inside the 10 and taken down somewhere near the 8-yard line. It looked like it was Javier Johnson with the carry, and we're going to have a timeout with 58 seconds. Not sure if it's I think it's an official's timeout, though, isn't it? Now he'll start the clock. So clock runs. We're down to the last 50 seconds. Wayne trying to do something positive to end their season. Their season will close with a 2-8 record, 49-7 the game, and it'll be a quarterback run, sweeping it to the left. Here comes the defense, and down goes Chambers at the 12 with 34 seconds. They don't need to run another play, but Wayne might want to try to get on the board.
It's fourth down.
They trail 49-7, fourth down and goal. The ball's at the 12-yard line. Down to 18 seconds. And you know what? I think Derek Moore is just going to bring him to the sideline. I think he's just decided, let's not risk anybody. We're not going to win, and we'll get nothing out of scoring here in the end other than a final score. And we have one as the clock winds down to 0. The New Haven Bulldogs have shown us what has made them one of the top 5 teams in the state Class 4A. They defeat the Wayne Generals 49-7 to open sectional play here at John Young Stadium. Well, really, the game decided, Corey, back in the second quarter when Wayne made a couple of mistakes, turned the ball over. New Haven quickly turned those into touchdowns, and what was a close game after one started to become more of a blowout in that second quarter.
No doubt about it. I think it took New Haven a little while to adjust to the speed of Wayne. I think that they got off to a bit of a slow start because of that, but once they picked that up, the second quarter was big for them, and that pretty much ended the night for the Wayne Generals.
So the team shaking hands, and it's good to see that the sportsmanship prevailed all the way to the end. There was some chippiness there at times during the game, but ultimately good sports and good sportsmanship. As Derek Moore, the coach of Wayne, congratulates Jim Rowland, and the New Haven Bulldogs are victorious 49-7 over the Wayne Generals. I want to thank D.C. Hendricks, our studio producer, for handling all of the buttons back in the studios. Also want to thank Corey Kitchen for jumping in and providing color on tonight's broadcast. Again, New Haven now advances, and we'll have all these scores coming up for you in about 10 minutes. We're going to be over at the New Haven Pizza Hut, where we'll have the Indiana Physical Therapy postgame show. And I'll be joined by Austin Render, who will be sitting in as our official scoreboard operator tonight. We'll talk to coaches. We'll get your final scores. We'll start to set up next week's round 2 in sectional play. Our final here at John Young Stadium at New Haven High School. The New Haven Bulldogs have advanced, defeating the Wayne Generals 49-7. So for Corey Kitchen, I am Brett Rump. And this has been the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
And now, your Crumback Chevrolet starting lineup. The full-size pickup with power improvement performance. The redesigned Silverado with the perfect blend of form and function and named most dependable midsize car. The Malibu. Crumback helps you get the most out of every gallon with the groundbreaking Cruise, delivering 42 miles per gallon. It's the compact car.